Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another Spiritualistik Pick a Card reading. Today we're taking a look at your soul contract with the person on your mind. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. Take a minute first to like, comment, and subscribe. We have group number 1 on the left with Archangels and Numerology, group 2 in the center with Soul Recognition, and group 3 on the right with Precise as Metal. The timestamps are listed below in the description box at the very bottom. I do have discounts on my personals if you're interested in one-on-one sessions with me. For the holiday season, it's my special way to give back when I have the opportunity to. If you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel or my TikTok or Instagram, make sure to follow along so you can see more content. I do post exclusive content as well on my YouTube members platform, as well as on Patreon and on TikTok, all of which are different. I've got a book club going. It's fully donation-based, so if you're interested, we're currently reading The Power of Now. With that being said, I would like to introduce you to my meditation retreat. Okay, it is fully virtual and it's yours forever. So it's a wonderful resource to have in your pocket, and that is the first link in the description box below. So make sure to check that out if nothing else. As always, I love you and I'm grateful for you. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you over at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at your soul contract with the person or soul on your mind. You selected the first group with the Archangels and Numerology card. So to go over the format of this reading, first we're going to take a look at the mutual theme of the soul contract. We'll take a look at a past, present, future parallel lifetime that is relevant to the soul contract, if any. We'll take a look at your agreed upon experience and or lessons, their agreed upon experience and or lessons, and then 3 possible outcomes, because we all have free will and we'll see which is the most likely as well. And we'll pull advice at the very end. So group number 1, with the Archangels and Numerology card, I'm definitely getting that this is an energy of mutual learning and sharing. There's something here about connection to the divine, connection to others, and I'm also giving each other love in some way, in a way that it was previously neglected to you. Now, it doesn't just need to be love, like kisses and hugs. It can be a safe space to listen. It can be learning something that you haven't had resources to learn. It can be an opportunity to experience something different that is healthy and helpful for you, that helps you reach your success. Okay, so the mutual theme here, it has a lot to do with providing that which was distorted or neglected prior to the agreed upon meeting in this life. Okay, that is going to help bring both parties to some sort of victory in an area of life where they feel the weakest. There's definitely an energy here of doing all that you can for both of you in a particular area. I'm getting for one of you, this might have something to do with something more elusive, like spirituality or emotions or something like this. And for the other one of you, it might be something that's a little bit more fiery or transformational, something about the ability to follow your passions. And for someone else, it might be the ability to have someone sit with your emotions. It doesn't need to be that specifically. We'll take a look at it more in depth. But there's something about in your daily life, with your daily resources, with the things you currently have access to and know about, the things that are, well, available to you, it seems as though you're both fully using your resources to the best of their abilities, and there's only so much you can do, but you're still doing a little bit more than you can anyway. It seems as though there is an aspect of life for both of you that kind of requires a little bit of external love, a little bit of elbow grease from let's say, a outsider party that cares, or that has the time, or has the resource, or has the shoulder to lean on, or has the information that you don't have. Something like this. Now, both of you represent kind of a synchronicity. I'm hearing that song, Are We Humans or Are We Dancers? There's a little bit of this synchronicity energy coming through. There's also very analytical energy coming through. So it can be like intellectualizing emotions versus having a safe space to open and share and have a heart-to-heart with somebody, something beautiful like this. It can be intellectualizing. Maybe you're very spiritual, but the way that you express it, the way that you actually understand it intellectually, maybe it doesn't really fit with a lot of the spiritual community, right? It's not about like maybe as much vibes and feelings and experiences. Maybe it's a little bit more about, well, this makes sense and this is a linear pattern. And so in order to study consciousness and expand and evolve XYZ, right? More of a a scientific and rational perspective. So essentially for you, we have something where no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you do, no matter how much you learn, no matter whether or not you are doing the best that you possibly can, there's something here that doesn't change. There's something that doesn't grow. There's something that will not budge, will not transform. And almost the more that you try, the less it succeeds. There is also the awareness here that this is not meant to be the case, actually. There's also an awareness here that, okay, this is a chapter, this is an experience, but it's not the end-all be-all. There's an awareness here that, well, no, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to have a good friend who knows how to listen. It's pretty basic. Or there's something like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to take care of myself in insert mental, physical, or emotional way, right? But, there's something here about no matter what you do, it seems as though the universe kind of keeps giving you, I'm getting losing hands. Even if you could be the best poker player in the world, but there's a certain aspect here where it doesn't matter how good of a poker player you are, there's still an aspect that is out of your hands. And this is something that both of you have an energy like this that is out of your hands. It's almost ridiculous at this point. And it's something that requires the intervention of the other. It doesn't require, but there's something about a softening into one another that allows for mutual growth and mutual learning here. Okay, so let's take a look at a past life, if there's any here. And when I say past life, time is relative and happening simultaneously kind of person. So if past life is doing it for you, okay, we can say past, present, future, parallel, lifetime, dimension, realm, experience, okay? So past life, if any, what's going on here? Okay, I'm getting that you two both, okay, in a different lifetime or reality, you two have struggled together in some way. Well, actually, I'm getting, you two have struggled together in the way that one of you is currently experiencing. And you two thrived together in the way that the other is currently struggling from. So say that you two were very, very, say that you were siblings, or you were in a friendship, or whatever the dynamic. It's a little less important. We might get some cards here if they choose to come out in this sense. But say that you two had a really strong, loving, caring, compassionate relationship, okay? So that love, that care, that compassion, that someone that sees your soul and like takes care of you when you're sick, that would be something that one party here doesn't have. But it would be a strength of this lifetime that you shared together. And so it's activated by the other person. Now, this also is something that you struggled with together at the same time. Maybe you had all the compassion and the care and all of this, but maybe you were very, maybe you didn't live in a nice house. Maybe you were having a hard time putting food on the table. Maybe you didn't know how to make ends meet and one of you was chronically ill or something like this. This would be the struggle that the other one of you takes on in this lifetime. So this past life here, it looks like one of your struggles you succeeded in together, and the other one of your struggles you both had a difficult time with together. And I'm being shown this experience where one says, I'm going to go out into the world. I'm going to take care of this, and I'm going to bring it back to home because this is not it. Okay, so there's something like, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to learn how to love you right, and then I'm going to come back and do it. Or I'm going to go out there and I'm going to learn how to make enough money to put food on the table and make sure you never have to worry again. And I'm going to go out, I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to bring it home. Or I'm going to go out, okay, I'm going to learn the mysteries of the universe, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to bring it back home so that we never have to question our existence or if it's pointless alone, right? It's something like this. There's a very special bond here, and I'm getting that this is a very special experience that you two share together. I'm getting that it's one of many, but that the many look almost identical, right? If we think about parallel realms and realities or different lifetimes, right, you can have infinite different variations. But I'm getting that here, this is something that is almost identical each time that it exists. So these common points are very much in alignment with each other when they come together. So here we have this shift moving forward, which we'll get into in a minute. Here, we do have, at the end of the day, the success that was intended to be achieved in this past life. We have it coming to fruition, but not completing. We have it almost completing. And as this begins to complete, it's like you see the light at the end of the tunnel, you taste it, and then it feels as though this is where the lifetime is cut short, or there's a disconnect, or something occurs, or something like this happens. And it's feeling a little bit more And that's where the story ends, and we'll pick it up again next time because you succeeded at this journey. So now you have evolved into, or now you have broken the pattern, and now you're in the paradigm of, right, this life that you're experiencing now. So it's like, okay, you completed this level. Now it's time for the next. Okay, we finally were able to get out of the situation. Beautiful. Okay, let's put a pin in it. And then I'll see you in the next life or in a few lifetimes from now. And it doesn't feel like that's an intentional action on either of your parts. It almost feels like there's a little bit of it's a shame that we never got to live that in completion. And so what I'm getting is an exaggeration of both sides in this life. One embodies one and the other embodies the other. That allows you to recognize each other when you meet again. I'm being shown that this is a specific embodiment that you've chosen to take on. Okay, it's like, say that one of you is the caretaker and the other one of you is the provider, for example's sake. Now, the one that's a provider would, like, maybe you struggled together and you were sick, right? So the nurturer is learning their best to take care of everybody. The provider's doing their best to heal and learn how to become maybe educated financially, or learn how to build a house, or learn how to hunt or gather, or whatever era or epoch this is, right? It can even be a different planet for some of you. And we're just using the terms that resonate with the cards here, okay? So this would be something where one of you represents like the healer of all healers, right? Not just a nurturer, but like almost the idealized way that the pure love in the heart of the other actually saw you as. Except that is who you are as an embodiment in this lifetime. Not just to them, but it's like your archetype. And it's the same the other way. Someone who you see them as maybe someone who goes out into the cold and they try to get work and they earn enough money for bread and they come home with bread, and you trust them to go out and succeed and come home and feed your family. I don't know why it's very much giving like plague vibes. It's very much giving like olden days, like ye old, I don't know, that vibe, but it doesn't need to be. It's just what's kind of coming through here. But you would trust the other one to go provide, right? Whether it's bringing home some bread, or whether it's bringing home a few coins, or whether it's, something. I'm really getting this humble energy. But when you meet again, this person would be extremely abundant, extremely protective, specifically over you, not in a controlling way by any means, but it would almost be an exaggerated archetype, an exaggerated character trait of yours that allows you to recognize each other. So this is what I'm picking up from the past life here. And it feels as though, again, this experience is cut short. It's like as soon as there's the light at the end of the tunnel, you step through it and you're like, yay! And then it like recycles into the next because you've broken the pattern, the karmic energy is done, and it feels as though something feels like it's cut short, or that it gets technically fulfilled but not experientially fulfilled. Like you don't get to live and thrive and enjoy the chapter as much as maybe you feel like you deserve, or you want to in your heart, or you want to in your soul. But like technically, if you were to look at this from a karmic standpoint, for example, it doesn't have to be, that's not everyone's vibe, that's okay too. But technically, it's like you pass the test, on to the next kind of vibe. Like you complete the karma and you're like, yay, let's have this wonderful experience. And then boom, now it recycles. And another energy I'm picking up on here is throughout lifetimes. It's like they said that they're going to learn something. And they do, and they bring it to you even across lifetimes, across time and space. It's something like you say that you're going to learn something or succeed at something or do something, and you do. And you bring it across time and space. You bring it back to them. It's like this meeting of minds, meeting of souls, meeting of skills. Okay, mutual learning and mutual learning. So let's see, we're going to look at the agreed upon experience in this lifetime of both. Okay, so one of you is definitely an introvert, if not both of you, but doing one at a time here, it seems as though one of you is definitely an introvert, maybe a little bit more spiritual, a little bit maybe guarded towards other people. I'm getting that between that other experience you've had with them, between that lifetime and this lifetime, it just seems as though one of you has your guard up a little bit. Maybe you've got very strong boundaries. Maybe you're a very kind person, or they're a very kind person, and that has caused them to be taken advantage of quite a bit. And it feels as though this person comes in, or you come into their life, and all of a sudden this is someone who makes you feel safe out in the world again. It's giving, they make you feel like you have more options. They make you feel, or you make them feel, as though they don't need to be as on guard towards people anymore. Not that people change, but that this is someone who kind of reinvigorates the other's maybe trust in humanity, or reinvigorates the fact that people do respect boundaries, or someone who really listens to understand, someone who enjoys learning like you do, someone who, like, this is something that shows somebody who is unique in their own world and kind of in their own world, in their own bubble. The other person comes in and shows them understanding and resonance in a way that allows them to expand their horizons when they are, I'm getting, refusing to give up, not in an attachment, lack of divine surrender way, but in a way that's, say that you're trying to achieve your goals. Or again, whatever this is, that could be this parallel struggle from another lifetime. Say that there's something that you need, like your body needs to be healthy, right? And you've tried everything, but this person in this life, they could be a doctor, right? And so that would be kind of an obvious connection there, but the coming into connection doesn't happen as obviously as just, you go to the doctor with your symptoms like you would any other day. It's something where this person will have that. Okay, so the agreed upon experience, it's someone who makes you feel like you can trust doctors again, right? This is someone who listens to you. They make you feel like somebody listens and they care again. This is someone who maybe they have information that on something that you've been trying really, really hard to liberate from, to experience, or to stop experiencing. And this is somebody who's literally, that's their whole job. And so one of you has the agreed upon experience here to liberate the other from some sort of, I'm getting a hermit chapter or a hermit struggle, or some sort of a difficulty that they've learned to take on by themselves, or they had no choice but to carry a burden alone. Okay, this is someone who comes in and liberates the other party from this. And also helps them realize that there are more options in this life as well. Like, this person does not end up being the end all be all. I'm hearing the song The Only Exception from Paramore, so there might be a little bit of that vibe here, but it might also open up the world beyond that too. So it's almost like this could be, now we'll look at the three possible outcomes and which one is the most likely as well, so that will help as well. But there's also this vibe of, yes, this can be a spot where you land, a safe space to land, but this can also be a chapter or an experience that you pass through, right? So it's kind of giving this, hey, you have a lot more options than you think that you do. And here is like how, right? And here is this, you can hold it in your hand, right? And so you can take this and you can appreciate it and you can give me a big hug and we can hang out and like love each other romantically, platonically, whatever. Or I can give you this and then you can hold it and you can use it to make your own garden. And after you make your own garden, you can always think of me fondly in your heart, okay? So this is one of you, the shared upon experience. Now for the other one, now the other party here, it's actually very cynical, specifically when it comes to things like maybe intuition or magic or spirituality. But this is also somebody who I'm getting refuses to indulge in bad habits or patterns. This is somebody who's quite strict with themselves, but they also want to make sure like that they put their stability first. This is somebody who has a very intelligent mind. Okay, their agreed upon experience here, or the other party's agreed upon experience here, is to be cynical towards things that are, let's say, the experiential part of life. Not just the tactical, the practical, the material, right? This isn't a materialistic person. This is someone who wishes that there was more than the eye could see, but maybe they can't prove it and they don't want to be fooled. They don't want to be proven otherwise and then be called a fool at the end of the day, right? This isn't somebody who is closed off to that. This is somebody who secretly wishes that this was true but cannot prove it. Or this is somebody who wants to, they want to have more fun in their life, for example, but they're very busy at their very cool, very important job that they work at 6 days a week, and then they go home and they study more for their job. So this is somebody who, they're very, very smart. They could be overthinking. Like they could be an overthinker, and instead of that, they use all of their energy and they channel it towards work, or they use all of that energy and they channel it towards writing, or they use all of that energy and they channel it towards something. The thing here, though, is that this other party, they do not have clarity about what's next. They don't have clarity about their future. There's a question of, is this all that there is? And so the agreed upon experience for them is a little bit of this, it's the light at the end of the tunnel, but kind of in the opposite sense. This is somebody who learns through somebody else how to live again, how to love again, how to trust again, but not like in people as much as the other one. It's how to use the mind for good, like to manifest or create your own reality. How to use the mind for, like, you could write a fantasy book. Like, it doesn't all have to be Dostoevsky vibes, right? So there's also this this awareness here that, like, it's peeling back the veil, peeling back the curtain. This might be somebody who is very cynical, or maybe they like to keep things in their life very linear because they know that it's safe. It's not so much comfort zone because they feel not comfortable with it, but they almost feel like this sense of duty, the sense of responsibility that is not just from this life. But with it, it might also come, well, let's say a little bit of maybe, let's say lack of anxiety, because they don't really let themselves go there. So they'll channel it somewhere else. But there might be a little bit of a depression vibe, but this person doesn't feel like they're comfortable being too much in their emotions. Now, this doesn't feel like somebody who is very much repressing things. It feels like somebody who is channeling them in a different way. So it doesn't seem like somebody who would maybe blow up or explode or have like a crash out, meltdown, breakdown, but it does definitely give the energy of somebody who is wishing that they had the option to look at something deeper, to acknowledge something bigger than us, to acknowledge a life or a future better than the one that they live. And so there's this awareness that comes into their life in meeting the other person here, that there is something bigger than us, that you can have fun, you can enjoy your life, and that it's like the spark comes back again. It's like the spark is relit. There's a spark in this person's heart, in this person's soul, that it's like they know is there, but nobody else can see, or nobody else is there. This can be someone who's, maybe they're a passionate, loving, bubbly, creative person, but maybe their parents were very strict with them, right? Maybe they're like, okay, well, you have 500 extracurriculars before and after school, and then after that, you're going to go get a degree, and after you get a degree, you're going to get another degree, and then you're going to go be a lawyer and a doctor at the same time, and while you're a lawyer and and a doctor, you're going to go get a degree in math, and you're going to like it, and you're going to be the best darn mathematician there ever has been, and this person has probably succeeded at all of those things. At the same time, there's a spark in their soul that is, maybe if they expressed it, it wasn't seen. If they wanted it to be loved, it wasn't loved, or it's like their own little secret, right? It's like this spark in their soul, this spark in their hearts, that there's still hope, or there's something more. And so this is something that's almost been like trained, or maybe even beaten like out of them in some way, socially, verbally. And so this is an awareness of something more, like that the future can be whatever they want it to be. It's their life, they can create it. Their mind creates their reality, or there is something bigger than us universally, like you're just a wave in the ocean, but that's a beautiful thing. Like there's something like this. So that is their agreed upon experience. It's kind of, it's giving enlightenment, but it's not so much one's a spiritual teacher and the other one's like a practical person. It's a little bit more of the, like, it's an exaggerated version of the past life energy, but it's now coming into fulfillment. So it would be something of a nurturer and a protector, or something of a the caretaker, the healer, and the rationale, right? The logistic mind, right? There's something like this that's coming through, and it's not saying that one lacks the other. It's saying that both have both, but that the role that they played in each other's lives has kind of turned into such a duty, such a responsibility, that in this lifetime, it's almost the whole archetype that one takes up. Now, not to say that you're not multidimensional, both of you, but there's something here where that is maybe that would probably look like your rising sign, or it would look like your midheaven, or it would look like, it's something where it looks like the way that you're perceived by the world, or like the mask that you wear in the world, or just the role that you play, your duty in this world, right? It could even be your North Node, right? Would be for one of you probably like Virgo, and the other one of you could be Scorpio or something like this. Now, of course, these are subjective and they're examples, but that's kind of what we have here with the agreed experience. It's also how you recognize each other and come into this connection in order to fulfill the soul contract here. Okay, so let's take a look at 3 possible outcomes and we'll see which one is the most likely. So 3 possible outcomes here. I'm getting this one is not the most likely, but we're gonna pull it first. Okay, so it seems as though one possible outcome is that things move pretty quickly between the two of you, so quickly that there's like this excitement, this passion. If you've ever met a friend of your soul's, right, a soulmate, if you will, it's funny how they're the same word but can have different meanings sometimes, right? So when you meet someone and you're all excited and you really resonate in the soul, things can be so vibrational that they move really quickly. And when they move really quickly, it can kind of not anchor or ground all the way. And so it can be quite easy to get swept off your feet in like a whirlwind romance, for example, rather than sitting down with each other, taking it slow, getting to learn each other, pulling back that veil, and then seeing, regardless of the way this relationship manifests, as friends, as romantic partners, as coworkers, understanding the depths of the soul and what there is to learn there, so you can integrate it and move accordingly, right? However, there is still a takeaway here. Okay, this one possible outcome is things move pretty quickly and it's enjoyable and it's fun, but it's not as stable as you might like. Okay, now this would end up being still like a permanent person in your life, more or less, but maybe one that kind of watches from the sidelines to keep up with you on Instagram after all these years, something like this. But you do end up learning from each other, and there's still this little like remaining spark of it would be so cool to pick their mind, or I wonder what they're thinking, or I wonder what they're up to. But this isn't somebody who would ever fully exit your life, because it's almost like the energy there would stall out. It's like the flame would burn really quickly, right? It's kind of giving like a candle. You know when the candle doesn't burn the first time all of the way around? And so it kind of creates a tunnel in the wax. It's kind of that energy here. So it doesn't have the time and the patience to burn all the way, so it's not a consistent burn where you can actually experience the whole candle, but you still keep the candle, right? Because you still have the wax mostly full in the candle, but it's tunneled. So it's not really usable, but you also can't really get rid of it. It's kind of this vibe here. So it would almost kind of stall out moving forward, but there would still be this fondness, there would still be this soul recognition. You'd still watch each other, maybe exchange the occasional hey, hi, how you doing, right? There's still that mutual interest here. This isn't someone who would leave your life, but there's the example of the short burn. So that is one possible outcome, okay? Which would lead me to give you the advice here of, hey, patience with this one. Okay, the next possible outcome, okay, is one where the experiences that you both bring to each other that are maybe not the most positive, right? What it is that you seek from each other, you maybe subconsciously seek the healing or growth from each other. Well, there's a possibility that there's a little bit of, okay, well, actually that's positive. Oh, I see. There's a little bit of this, I'm being shown like bippity boppity boo, right? The little magic wand energy that you bring to each other's life here. So you are open about the struggles, or you just wear them on your sleeve. You're like, you know what? I don't have somebody to talk to, or you know what? I don't know anything about that and it's impacting my life negatively, or, insert situation, right? This is something where the other person kind of, well, mutually, you wave your magic wand and it really helps each other out a little bit, but you both feel like, let's call this maybe I say lightly codependent situation, a little bit, because you both feel a little bit now like you can't live without each other. You're a perfect match as a friend, as romance partners, as business partners, however it goes. But it's like the other one is responsible for your success here. This isn't one that would end up hurting you at all. This is actually something that you would really, really like. But we do see a little bit of a codependency here. Like one being a little bit controlling, and that's okay. And the other one being like, you know what, it's messy. It's not perfect, but it works. There's a little bit of this, like organized chaos or functional dysfunction vibe. Now it's really not giving toxic at all whatsoever. It's not giving painful at all whatsoever, but it's giving a little bit like, you finish each other's sentences, you help each other out, you love each other strongly, but it's like, you complete each other instead of you're both complete and then come together. And I know that's a bit of a cliche, especially in this kind of reading, but it's a little bit more of the vibe of I'm 80% complete and this 20% of my life I just cannot get together. Well, that's in their 80% and they're actually really good at it. And so I just outsource it to them and they have the same and they outsource a piece to you. And so it creates this codependency. It's like a little more than interdependency and a little less than I would call it codependency. Okay. But it's not something that is painful for either of you. We do see like a positive ending here. We see that this is something where this could get off on the right foot, but that would require to wear your difficulties on your sleeve, right, more or less, and each other kind of waves their magic wand, and this creates a weaving of these energies together, and it ends up being a nice permanent foundation for the two of you to move forward where everybody's happy. But it also is acknowledging, hey, there's a part of life where I'm disempowered, and instead of learning and growing in that area, you just kind of own, hey, I'm disempowered here, and it's where they're empowered, and vice versa. Okay, so that is another possible outcome here. So let's take a look at the third outcome, which is the most likely. Okay, that doesn't. Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing because there's this energy of, well, do we want to tell you? Do we not want to tell you? Okay. Spill the beans, spirit, let's go. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we've got overthinking. What is the most likely outcome? What is my soul contract? The reason we're clicking on this reading, right? Okay, I see you. I am you. I get it. It's okay. Okay. So the most likely outcome here, it seems as though things progress forward pretty well. Okay, they're pretty well, but there's a question of where does this go? Everybody overthinks it a little bit because you both have something that the other deems precious. Okay, I'm being shown like Lord of the Rings, like my precious. Okay, I'm not going to do the voice. But there's this vibe of you both being really special and precious to each other and wanting to do everything in your everything in your capacity to bring to put your best foot forward. Okay, so that this situation is protected and taken care of. So it really seems as though there's this hesitance here. But the most likely outcome here is that you both are open, not as vulnerable as maybe the second option that came through here, but you share with each other the burdens, right? And you each say, oh, well, I know how to carry that. Let me show you. And you do. And it leads to more personal fulfillment and happiness. And this actually brings about a beautiful connection between the two of you that is actually more fun. It's the most fun out of the other timelines. However, it's something that kind of shows up, or it begins a bit randomly, maybe quickly, but not like, it's not giving love bombing, it's not giving whirlwind, right? It's just something that shows up and it keeps progressing and it gets deeper and it gets deeper and it gets deeper. And then there's this point where, well, if this gets any deeper, then you're in there, right? If this gets any deeper, then you're in my heart now. Like if this gets any deeper, then you're gonna see my ugliest shadow. If this gets any deeper, then you've got my weakness. You could unalive me, right? There's like this vibe like this, and this does continue to progress, creating a specialness, a sacredness, almost this. I'm hearing that song "Dirty Little Secret" by All American Rejects, but I'm not getting that this situation or this person is a secret. It's almost like something that you both want to love and care for and nurture and protect here, because it does have the the full beauty of that special connection that you have as a soul. So that is actually what the energy focuses on here in the most likely outcome. However, from here there's this it's so precious I almost want to touch it, or I don't know if I want to hold it in my life. I want to hold it in my heart, but if I hold it with my hands, I could drop it and break it. So there's this finding of, well, this is why I don't feel comfortable holding it in my hands, because I'll drop it and break it. And the other person says, well, okay, here's my reason. And you both kind of say, wait, but that's my strong suit. Wait, we can teach each other how to hold this in the way that we both feel not comfortable in. And in the meanwhile, hold it in the way that you are comfortable with. And then you learn and you grow together, holding hands and stepping into the next reality, the next timeline, the next paradigm together. So it's a very much interdependent, united front, very balanced energy that is vulnerable, that probably gets a little bit a little bit uncomfortable with the Five of Swords here, but the Seven of Wands is in reverse. So it's not anything that would bring about big difficulties or big arguments or anything that would bring about like deal breakers or anything like this. It's just that there's stress or anxiety because it brings about, I don't even want to say triggers, but like awareness of the weaknesses or the areas that you both wish to grow and evolve in that you feel maybe a little bit less than adequate at. And bringing that forward is going to create an, I'll say, intimacy, because that's the energy we have. It's special, it's deep, and it's intimate. Now, of course, intimacy has several different definitions, okay? So like an emotional or a philosophical or a spiritual intimacy that's occurring here, and that's what makes it so special. And because of that, there is this awareness here and also this communication that this isn't for nothing. Coming together isn't for nothing, right? There's this acknowledgement of this isn't a coincidence. And maybe that's what one party here needs in order to believe in something greater than themselves. Maybe it's what the other party here needs in order to finally fulfill a particular area of life that they have just known is out of their hands because the universe has shown them this. It brings things into balance. It says, hey, well, I have 10 cards here. I have one, like they're supposed to be 1 through 10, right? Say I have 10 numbers, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. You have an extra 9 and you don't have a 10. Now they could have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 10. Now they have 2 10s, but they don't have a 9. And so there's this intimacy of showing each other your hands, showing each other your cards. And then there's this, wait, I have what you need and you have what I need. We can exchange for them, almost like go fish a little bit. But there's that trust in I will give you and you will give me and we will share. And then with that, we will both be independent. We will both be independent, and then together we'll have 2 sets of complete numbers. And that can make a stronger future for everybody. Instead of, well, what if I need my extra 9? Well, I don't know what it's like to have that 10 in my hands, right? So there's a little bit of that, that there's the intimacy there. And that's also where we have the difference between the codependency and the interdependency. It's not like, well, 10 is their strong suit. 10 is really their strong suit. Look, they have 2 of them and I don't have any, so I'm just going to outsource all the 10s to them. They'll give you their 10, right? And you give them your 9, and it's something like this. So let's pull a little bit of advice here to close this out. What is any advice Spirit has for managing the soul contract for the listener of this reading today? What do they need to hear right now? Okay. So you're being encouraged to trust in what you see and trust in the material, actually. I'm getting for some of you for the first time or for the first time in a long time. Okay, this is something where I'm getting to tell you, keep this to yourself, at least in the beginning. There's something here about not wanting to spoil a good thing or, like don't tell people about your blessings or your projects, something like this. You're being encouraged to be giving in this connection, okay? You are being encouraged to be, to love yourself and be giving, but also not to overcommit right out the gate. Okay, so be giving, but not overcommitting, okay? But do show up and do enact like self-love and give to yourself, but don't only take, right? Do offer what you can, what you do have to offer. Keep this to yourself as well. And then there's also a little bit of this vibe that came through about trusting. Is this what you want? Is this not what you want in the long run? There's a little bit of this overanalyzing. Okay, trust that things are coming into union for you in this connection in the way that they're supposed to. Don't expect the past to repeat itself. Expect this to have something to offer you. But with that being said, you don't need to be out there trying to figure it out. The more you try to figure it out, the less clarity you're going to have. So enjoy the ride and enjoy the process on the way there. Just focus on understanding that this is going to be helping you complete your set of numbers energetically, if you will. It's going to help you complete something, okay? Do cherish this while it's here. Do give, okay, in this situation. Also, don't overcommit to it either. I'm getting not to Don't be quick to maybe sign contracts or spend money or, I don't know, commit or something right out the gate, because what is the why here? Can we get the why here from Spirit? Because there's still there are a few things, okay? Because this is going to help you when you have a full complete set, okay? You're going to be really excited. You're going to be really happy. Oh my God, I finally have 1 to 10. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Now that you finally have 1 to 10, how do you want to move out? How do you want to move in the world like this? They're going to do the same. So leave that space for self-exploration, but also do be giving, okay? There's something here about, okay, so there's something here about your connection coming through. You're being encouraged not to put like maybe spiritual and or sexual matters at the forefront here, okay? Make it like the communication, okay? Rational communication and emotional, okay? Allow this to be emotionally fulfilling and allow yourself to use the emotions as the portal to your information and use this as a good opportunity to practice expressing your emotions, okay? Because right now you're not supposed to be making any permanent decisions about this for the foreseeable future, or at least the very point where you are reading this or listening to this reading, okay? The clarity here, it's going to come from your emotions and expressing your emotions, and the way that expressing those emotions receives positive, neutral, or supportive feedback, okay? That is the thing here. I'm getting that's where the money is, okay? So, group number 1, this is your soul contract with the person on your mind. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. I do have personals open. They're on Etsy at Spiritualistik. You can find it in the description box, and right now they're discounted. So, now's a wonderful time to book if you're interested. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. If you like exclusive content, I've got one here on YouTube, one on Patreon, and one on TikTok. If you're interested, they're all different. I've got a book club. I've got a meditation retreat. Don't forget to check that out. It's the first link in the description box below. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at your soul contract with the person on your mind, or with whichever energy ends up getting shaped out by the reading here, depending on how you'd like to receive this reading. However, you selected the second group with the soul recognition card. How we're going to go through this reading is first we're going to look at the mutual theme of the soul contract. We're going to take a look at the past life, if there's any together, meaning past, present, future, parallel lives. Of course, time is not linear. It's all happening at once. So when I say past life, the way it resonates with you and your understanding, totally okay. Okay. We're going to look at your agreed upon experience in the soul contract, their agreed upon experience in the soul contract. We'll look at 3 possible outcomes, and we'll see which one of those 3 is the most likely to occur, right? Because we have free will here. And then we'll pull some advice from Spirit about navigating this, or maybe with whatever wants to come up here, okay? So the first thing we're going to take a look at here is the mutual theme of your soul contract. With soul recognition, this is definitely someone where you see them. And while I'm hearing that song, Hello, It's Me by Todd Rundgren. I can never say his last name right. But it's kind of this, we're here. It's almost giving Poltergeist, like, they're here, they're back. But it's not in a spooky way. It's just definitely there's a depth to this. There's definitely a depth to this soul contract and the soul recognition here. Because there's this Hello, It's Me. That song always reminds me of Carrie and Mr. Big from Sex and the City. Although, it lives in context outside of that too. The mutual theme here is self-love and forward movement. It's moving forward with, of course, loving yourself and understanding. I'm getting that there are themes here of, I'll say indulging in this connection, or indulging in the soul contract is an act of self-love for one. And, perhaps both of you at different points of time, and also probably staying away from it, or learning that it's not maybe your cup of tea at the end of the day is also an act of self-love too. So there might be a little bit of a runner-chaser dynamic here. With the pentacles here, there could be some sort of a financial opportunity here. I'm getting that there's a vibe where when you meet, you're almost never in the same place in life. This is part of the soul contract, because this both gets you to see the soul, it gets you to see the heart in each other and kind of learn that that is what's important. Now, of course, we all have our checklist, right, about what is maybe important to us. We want to make sure we can eat. We want to make sure we're around healthy people, things like this. Some of you want people in your life to be maybe a certain, I don't know, just hit a certain threshold or a certain mark in your life. This is going to be something that teaches you both boundaries, okay? One of you, likely you, it teaches you boundaries with them, right? Maybe not being too trusting, maybe not being too giving, maybe not being too nice right out the gate. Maybe you don't see yourself like this, but in hindsight, you will consistently. Even if it's getting better, you will still kind of find it until you find that balanced spot, that neutral point. And on the other side here, we're seeing that they might have maybe some unhealthy people around them that they need to set a boundary with. And that by being around you, seeing the way that, well, kind people do act, they kind of notice, oh, the people around me aren't acting like that. They see that you're telling them truths that maybe people around them are not willing to share with them. Maybe you're seeing true colors of people that are around them that they're not able to see. There's a love, there's a playfulness here, there's also a curiosity here. And it definitely seems as though with this soul recognition, there's a lack of knowing if or lack of knowing when or trusting if you will come back together in the future. Whether this is romantic or platonic or in a business sense, there's just this question of, will this come together while you're both focusing on, let's say, sharpening your own knife. You're all focusing on forward movement, forward progression. But I do definitely see some sort of a conversation here in the future or some sort of mutual travel, like being shown being on vacation at the same place at the same time. Or one of you moves and the other one of you's on a vacation there, but you don't have the info that that's where you will meet up. It's something like this. Like we see you running into each other serendipitously and having conversations here. Now, the past life here, it seems as though in some way, shape, or form, you worked on your spirituality and or creativity together. It could be that you were in a band together. It could be that you went to art school together. It can be that you meditated on the top of Mount Kailash together. But ultimately, what we see here is that the way that this manifested moving forward is something where you both would have had different ideas of where this is meant to take you. So one of you might have gone, oh, I spent a lifetime meditating. Good, I put my time in. Next lifetime, I'm going to party. I'm going to have fun. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, baby. Right, there might be a vibe like this. Whereas the next one of you might have said, this is something that is a good foundation, and in my next lifetime, I'm going to continue to cultivate it. One of you has an importance around like fun, but in an inner child healing and kind of wholesome way. And one of you has an idea of fun that is a little bit maybe rebellious, that is a little bit knowing that it's not maybe the healthiest, but it feels like it's compensating for something. There's like a life if you are doing, it's kind of giving like if you're a really sheltered kid, when you hit college age or when you move out on your own, you might crash out a little bit, right? Do all the things you weren't allowed to do. You have to learn somehow, right? But if you're given kind of allowance, or if that's just genuinely not what you want or who you are, you're not being repressed, you're just expressing your authenticity. By the time you hit that age, you're not really going to crash out like that. So this is something that we see. We see that one of you retained your intuition knowingly in this lifetime and cultivated it. And we see the other one of you, like it's in their soul, it's in the blueprint, but they're not like utilizing it. Or if they do utilize it, maybe they use it for things like writing songs. Maybe they use it for things like picking up chicks. Maybe they use it for things like getting their painting on the cover of a magazine. I don't know. It's not necessarily giving bad intentions. It's just saying that in this past life here, you had a similar foundation, but you took it in different ways. Now, we're also seeing that there's a little bit of this guarded energy. Like, it seems as though you had different ideals. They, like the foundation agreed with each other, but you had different ideals about what home looks like, about what maybe healthy looks like, about what care looks like, perhaps. And you both moved on from this kind of with a common understanding that you are agreeing to disagree, but the love is still there. I'm actually being shown, what is that song? It's actually from Wicked. The part where they're like, we disagree, but move on in your life and be happy, and I'll move on in my life and be happy. There's a song. Is it For Good? Maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, it's Defying Gravity. I digress. Also, sorry for that. So, this is definitely the pattern that we get from a past life. We see that you are separating on good terms, just in different directions, but with the same foundation. But there's something about this foundation that is kind of maybe unique. It's not very common, or it's just something that is it could be very niche too. I'm being shown like Plato and Socrates. So there's kind of this vibe where like you're either in the club or you're not in the club. I don't mean it like like party club, but that could be like a double entendre for maybe where you see or meet this person, or the kind of things that one of you does that the other specifically doesn't do. Like this would be something where someone's like, yeah, I like to have a beer every day when I get home from work. I like to go out, have a good time. I like to dance, right? That doesn't sound too unhealthy in and of itself, depending on the context and depending on who you're talking to, of course. But if you are speaking with someone who's like, I don't touch a single drop of alcohol at all whatsoever. I get very overstimulated in public places. I don't want to be around like a ton of alcohol, like having people that are all dancing and like letting their sacral energies just go everywhere. That there's like a vibe where there's understanding that you're both not coming from the worst place, but like the way that it manifests is maybe unhealthy or uncomfortable for each other, right? So what we're seeing here now, I'm not out here saying that if someone's like out there drinking every day, learning not to do that is an unhealthy choice for them. That's not what I mean at all whatsoever. So let me clarify. It might be an uncomfortable choice for them, right? It might be how they blow off steam as opposed to a different, just as bad, but maybe more immediate coping mechanism. Anyway, so we have this past life experience here where you both are intuitive, spiritual, and or creative in some way. Like your art, your music is your creativity, is your spirituality, right? Or your spirituality is how you learn to create and you manifest with your thought, with your mind, with your consciousness. This Wands energy is very strong. We have that you both have like a astral connection, telepathic connection. You both are on the same vibe, but you're both aware of it. Like very strong telepathic connection. It's giving co-meditating or things like this, like co-regulating, but in like a musical context where you're on the same vibe, right? You're playing the same thing, you're riding the same wave there, or in a spiritual context, maybe you're meditating together, you're riding the same wave, you've got that telepathy that's opening up, you're like having shared spiritual experiences, you're having shared dreams, you're talking about them in the 3D, like you're really in sync like this, okay? But there's also this awareness of sometimes your consciousness can't or doesn't want to push further. There's also this vibe of, like, this would be probably for them, not for you. There's also this vibe of, yeah, but I want to know what it feels like to be normal, or to have fun, or to see the world, or to go party, right? Or I want to know what it's like to take music, but instead of creating music, maybe I want to go on tour and be in the lights, right? There's something like this. And so the other one of you, it's probably a little bit more, well, I would be cautious about that because with everything that you've learned so far, it puts you in a very vulnerable position. And also, in your next lifetime, you want to make sure that you are having a nice, healthy, stable home. You want to follow your dreams and do your passions and all of these things. But there's just this vibe of don't forget what you've learned along the way, right? Like, don't let this lifetime be a waste of time. Don't let it be something that you brush off. Don't let it be something that you forget or you lose, even in the search of something different, not greater, different, right? And so there's that mutual vibe too. Well, yeah, but don't forget who you are in the seeking of spirituality either. Don't forget who you are in the seeking of music. Don't forget who you are in the seeking of the direction that you wish to go next, right? So there's this kind-hearted, like, mutual agreement here. So we'll take a look at now this manifestation of this life. We'll see your agreed upon experience for a very small few of you, okay? I'm getting that one of you is a spirit guide to the other. Okay, so it could be for some of you that this is not someone who's incarnated right now. For just a few of you. For a lot of you, this could be something where your higher self is their spirit guide in this physical life. Like, you're here walking and talking, but you're also like a spirit guide for them. Okay. Your agreed upon experience is, okay, in some way, you putting yourself out there, you ending up in a situation you normally wouldn't be in. Okay, this is kind of giving you two, let's say, promised to meet, but they're not going to end up on the top of Mount Kailash again. They're not going to remember to meet you there if you already agreed. But you might end up smack dab in the middle of the club because your friend, I say jokingly and lightheartedly, like extrovert, kidnapped you and brought you into the middle of a dance party, right? And you're not having a bad time. You're just like, this isn't my comfy zone, right? So you end up where this person is. And there's this instant recognition. Now with that recognition, we're seeing that there's some sort of a material foundation here. We see that there's an illusion that one has something that the other doesn't, but it's an illusion. It seems as though it looks like one person, likely them, has some sort of a foundation that you actually have, but it doesn't look like you have it. It looks like they have it. They don't actually have it, but you do actually have it. There's something like this that's coming through. And the soul recognition here gives a vibe of, and this is not a healthy mindset if we're looking from a psychological or a spiritual perspective, but it gives, wow, you complete me, right? So there's a little bit of this vibe here. There's also a bit of a idealization energy. And of course, when you have a soul contract, a soul remembrance with someone, it sometimes gives you the butterflies. You're like, wow, like you just love them. They're the best thing since sliced bread, at least for a little bit until like you kind of come down off that spiritual high, right? It gives you all the good chemicals in your brain. Okay. So your greed experience here, it has to do with it being, you are walking the walk. You're not talking the talk. And this person is doing the opposite. Or the people around them are doing the opposite. And it's kind of showing them by example. I know you're going to love this. It's showing them by example how to not just be what you say you are, but actually to be like, how to be what they and or the people around them are pretending that they are, but kind of actually fall short of or don't know how to maneuver. Because there's an aspect here of, okay, well, if you want to change your life, you have to change yourself. If you want to make a change, you have to make a change. If you want to learn, you have to unlearn. It's really heavy on this hangman energy here. So we see that you are, maybe you even initiate this interaction in some way, or it can be that you get dragged into this in some way as well. You get dragged into contact with this person, or you just go up and say hi, like you're not really thinking too much about it. We also see here that you don't want what this person has, or you don't want something from this person that everyone else wants. And it's kind of, this is something that sparks interest. Now, this is part of your agreed upon experience. We'll take a look at theirs as well. For you, the unfolding of this helps you actually to grow and build some sort of stability in your life. Now, it would be something that you end up doing, but it's like a reminder of that spark. It's a reminder of why you do what you do, kind of from that past life. That reminder of, let's just use that example of meditating on Mount Kailash again. I'm sure that's not all of your past lives, but let's just use that example, like for a vibe baseline, okay, that little blueprint. So this would kind of re-spark in you, no, it's important. It's important why I chose the path that I chose. Because if I'm spending an entire lifetime meditating, then in this life, I've already got that foundation. I might as well build upon it. If your job or if your idea is to work through all of the karma that your soul has, if your job is to be out here healing the earth, if your if your objective is to be out here cultivating consciousness, raising your vibration, whatever it is, this is going to be kind of a reminder of this past lifetime. And also looking around, you're going to see, oh, this reminds me to put myself where I want to be, where I chose to be. So it's a little bit of a recalibration for you, actually. But we're also seeing here that there's a little bit of something that's falling short. Like, that being around this person all of the time is not something that you want, but you notice that it's something that in your soul, it does feel homey a little bit. It feels like home. However, the different directions that it took, it's like they just grew in two different directions. So there's this mutual understanding. There's this mutual foundation. There's this mutual like love that's there. But for the same reason that kind of split in the past life here, this energy of I love you, but I want to do this and you want to do that. And I hope that you are the happiest, healthiest, wealthiest version of you that does that. But at the same time, I'm gonna go get mine. You go get yours. I'll meet you back here. We'll high five. We'll talk about it. But until then, I'll be seeing you, right? And so, with that, in this lifetime, there's a little bit of this awareness that this is an option for you, but it's not the option for you. There's the awareness for you that there's love and there's like compassion here, and there's like this almost sparkly energy, like this wow, like energy here, because it's that spiritual energy. And also they embody, remember, physically something that you actually have, and maybe you're not seeing it in yourself, or maybe it's something that you have but it doesn't look like you have, so maybe you're insecure about it. I'm not going to project insecurities or assume like fallbacks onto you or things like this, but it's kind of giving, again, a little bit of a vibe like this. This is your agreed upon experience in life. It helps you remember that you are the ish, basically. And it also helps you lead by example for this person by showing them that it's not about what it looks like you are or looks like you do. It's about who you actually are. And it also kind of shows them as well. Some of the people around you, they're kind of phony baloney, or they kind of don't have your best interest at heart. And there's also this energy of you having this spiritual cultivation where you might have probably told this person, hey, love you to pieces. Okay, right. But also this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Don't trust this person. Have you ever thought about this? No reason why I'm asking. Right. And they might be like, okay, weirdo. Right. And then they leave. Then all these things happen, or you leave and then all these things happen. And now they're looking at you all sparkly. Now they're looking at you all like, wow, is that really an option for me? So there's a vibe of they're in life, right? In partnership, in friendship, they're an option. They're not the option, but they're an option. And there's so much love there, right? And there's also a special vibe that's not cultivated elsewhere. But they're an option. And for them, it's the other way around. You're the option. But they probably don't go too close to it. They don't want to fly too close to the sun. Because they kind of know, they have this awareness that it's almost like this is, if you've heard of the Dolores Cannon, like her theories, right? Sometimes people have resting lives. It feels like this isn't a resting life for them. It feels like it's more of a play life for them. And so there's almost this vibe of like, I don't want to go home. It's like a little kid who's staying out past curfew. It's like the one night of the week or the one day ever where their parents are like, okay, you don't have a curfew, go have fun. Like, do whatever you're going to do. Just call me if you need me to pick you up. Like, go have fun. And so they're like, I don't want this night to end. I'm going to go play. I'm going to go party. Like, they don't want to go home. They're having fun. They don't have a curfew for the first time ever. Like, there's a little bit of this vibe. It's wholesome, but it can also be a bit reckless. For you, it's also kind of reiterating. It's not about what it looks like. It's about what is actually present, which you know too. But there's also this urge to look at yourself for what you actually are instead of how it might appear to others. I'm not saying that you care too much about what others think about you, but there might be a vibe here where maybe you have a social interaction and you go home and you overthink it. You're like, what do they think about me, right? So there might be a little bit of a vibe like this, that this kind of helps you to grow out of, because you're like, I don't care what we don't have the same goal in life and we are walking in different directions. And I know that there's so much mutual love there that it doesn't matter the nuance. There's love there. That's what the foundation is. And also, if they're surrounded by people who are committed to misunderstanding you, committed to projecting onto you, committed to villainizing you when you're literally just being yourself. It's like when people don't know the story, so then they create one and then all of a sudden they talk about it. And now that's your story, even though it has nothing to do with you at all whatsoever. There's like a vibe like this, where it's like, well, it doesn't matter what those people think about me because their information is based upon like somebody having fun and making it up, right? It doesn't matter what someone thinks about a person that doesn't exist. And it doesn't matter what someone thinks about me who's not in the same, doesn't have the same goal or values as me. I know that there's love there and that's what matters, right? Because someone who loves you might think that you could do better, maybe giving yourself an extra day off, right? But someone else who has a different goal in life might think that you might do better if you just work a couple extra hours a week, right? So it's subjective. So this is kind of your agreed upon experience here. It's kind of releasing a little bit of that vibe as well. Okay. Their agreed upon experience here. Let's take a look at, we covered it a little bit in this one. So they're definitely interwoven a bit. So it is going a lot back to noticing that they have been holding themselves back from what it is that they really want. There's almost this vibe of them liking to be maybe the one on the stage, or they like to be above and they like other people to be below them. It's not giving narcissism, it's giving deep insecurity, to be honest with you. And, you know, a case can be made that those two things are equal, but I'm not picking up on the energy for this person. Okay, their agreed upon experience here is them looking at objectively what is fair. Like, so they would know that you're a kind person. They would be able to see and understand your soul. I'm hearing the song Beautiful Soul by Jesse McCartney. And they would also be able to see that you don't fit in with the people and environments around them. But they also see you as this, like, I'm hearing the song Heart of Gold by Neil Young. They see you as this heart of gold. They see you as this pure, almost maybe spiritual being. They see you as like an angel. They see you as someone who is fair, someone who's just, someone who's educated, someone who's kind. And they also see how someone like that doesn't fit in with their surroundings. And so they also see that, if anything, they want to look at you like at eye level, or they want to look up to you, depending. But it seems as though the people around them, they either look at, if someone's looking at them at eye level, I'm getting it's It's a hard day for them because this person likes to have people look up to them. It's not like they want to look down at people. They don't push people down, but they might surround themselves with people who are smaller than them because it makes them feel bigger than they are. Because we see that there's this vibe of them having this soul memory that they have achieved so much growth in a past life, that they are high consciousness, that they are high vibrational, that they do have spiritual gifts, that they do have like a beautiful talent in something, like a spiritual talent, like it's a gift, right? Sometimes spiritual gifts, they can be singing, they can be dancing, they can be painting, among other things too. So we see that this person kind of has this, and they're kind of used to being a little bit idolized. But when this person returns back around home, back around family, they see that their version of fun, it's not actually fun to their soul. It's just kind of blowing off steam. This person sees that a pure vibe like this, and this vibe does resonate with them, it kind of shows them where they're feeling hollow in this life. It kind of shows them as well where their idea of fun isn't actually fully fun to them. It's kind of just maybe buying time, or it's blowing off steam. It's just like a gentle reminder. And I'm hearing that song, A Reminder by Trevor Hall. My love is just a reminder, find your center. So their experience that their soul agreed to have is to see that this burden can be dropped, that they can live their absolute best life, and they don't need to worry about how much fun they're having or not having a little bit. They're learning through you that there's a healthier life out there. It's like this is jogging their memory a little bit. Maybe not of their past life, but of their values, of the kind of people they want to surround themselves with, about how beautiful and special they are in the first place. It's kind of reminding them why they feel like they like being around smaller people. It's like giving big fish in a small pond energy, but it's because that big fish like is on vacation from the ocean, right? So they know deep down that they're not a big fish, but they're in a small pond. So they're living it up a little bit, right? It's not bad, but there's a certain point where after a while it's like, okay, come on, man, right? And it kind of depends. So I am actually being shown, again, another reference from Wicked. So I don't know if that is symbolic spiritually for you, or if that's a sign or something like this. I'm not going to dive into it because your experience will be your own. But I'm being shown like the wizard, like literally from the Wizard of Oz from Wicked. You know how he's like not actually a wizard? It's kind of giving that. He's like the big, the mighty, the powerful, because he can get everyone to see that, because he's from a foreign land, because he's not like... It's very much giving like, you don't know what I am, therefore I can be whatever I want to be. And it doesn't need to be indicative of truth. So this person is very much in this position. Their agreed upon experience in this life, again, it's to play. It's like a kid who's always had a curfew, and they finally reach like 18. And so their parents are like, congratulations, it's your first weekend without a curfew. They go out, they go crazy, right? It's kind of someone who is sheltered their whole life. Then they go away to college, and guess who's dancing on the tables, right? Not the kid whose parents were kind of like chill with them, experiencing life a little bit, right? So there's a little bit of this vibe that's here, and they're like, okay, woohoo, we're blowing off steam, we're having fun, it's all fun and games, but at the same time, this isn't me. This is what they're realizing. Okay, they're agreed upon. Is them realizing and understanding more and more over time that they're not where they want to be, and this isn't fulfilling to their soul. And also that you guys have a lot more in common than they once thought. And this is something that they will continuously reflect upon throughout the course of this incarnation. Like, you will be someone who is constantly on their mind. I'm hearing that song Gently on my mind, too. Or I think it's actually Gentle on my mind. Anyway, it's knowing that your door's always open and your path is free to walk. That one, if you're looking for it. Anyway, I'm picking up on two energies here. One came up a bit earlier and would like clarification. And the other is that because you both have spiritual roots, it's just one of you might like do this in this life, and the other one of you might just be kind of passively interested in it in this life. There could be cross watchers here. So if I say you and I say them, for most of you, this is bang on. But for a few of you, when I say them, it's you. There are a few cross watchers here, because one of you probably is very much into this stuff, and the other one of you, you're not into it. It's just kind of not at the front of who you are and what you're known for and what your life is like and all of these things, right? But you might meander, you might mosey on into a tarot reading, right? If you're curious, right? Probably sparked by curiosity of this person and some sort of soul recognition. Anywho, I'm getting this vibe of kind of this inside out energy, but aware, like inside out awareness, on the same map. So one of you might be around really, really, really unhealthy people. Most of you might be around really, really, really unhealthy people at a point in time where you connect. And while this is happening, one will be like, I'm around unhealthy people. This is negatively impacting me. I am being open and honest about this. I dislike this. I am not perfect. I'm looking to grow and to change. I want to have unconditional love and understanding and compassion. I also want to have better boundaries. I think I deserve better. The people that I'm around are not treating me very nicely, or they're not very good people. And I'm trying to do my best to navigate this imperfect world as an imperfect human. And I want to make sure that I am healthy and I'm around healthy people, right? And there might be a little bit of a vibe of, but they're your best friend, but they're your family. Like, oh, just deal with it, right? On the flip side, the other one of you could be around people who are equally as bad, if not worse. It could be one person. It could be a friend group. Take it as it resonates. But this person might also be aware that those people are kind of nasty, or a person there is kind of nasty and they're unhealthy, but they kind of get unlimited passes, right? So you would always take the side of someone who is, again, creating stories that are not true and spreading lies about people and gossiping and then swaying public opinion, and the none of the things were true, and now like a whole group is turned against you or something like this. That's absolutely ridiculous. So obviously that would not be a good person who starts that kind of energy for fun. But it's like, oh, but they're family, like they're fine. So like, obviously I'm going to stay here. And then you're the problem because you exist, not because you're actually being or creating or solving a problem. But this person knows the truth the whole time, right? So there's a little bit of this coming together of this energy. There's the validity of, oh, but they're family, so we should work on this relationship to an extent with boundaries, right? But there's also validity to, hey, people don't get to act like that. Like, actions have consequences. And it's not saying that you need to be the embodiment of karmic retribution, but it is saying that, if you're around people who are bullying other people, you are guilty if you're a bystander and you know that they're like talking out their ass, right? So there's a little bit of this vibe going on here. I'm also getting as well that their agreed upon experience is to have a deeper and deeper pull to you as time goes on, which might surprise you. However, what they were taught to want, think, hope, believe in this lifetime will always be counterindicative to what it is that is their actual truth, what it is that they actually want. And they're going to find that you are a lighthouse for this, for what they actually are, for what they actually want, for actual growth, for actual fulfillment, for actual love for them. But it's like they can only navigate within a certain box, or they can only navigate within the permissions of these 5 people or something like this. So you are a lighthouse for them, and the way that they manifest their pull towards you, their awareness that you're a lighthouse for them, spiritually, subconsciously, the way they navigate it will take different shapes over time. It might be sometimes that they're like, oh, who likes lighthouses? Oh, lighthouses are weird. Or 10 reasons why lighthouses should not be followed. 10 reasons why lighthouses are a scam. It could also be like, oh my God, the love of my life. Oh my God, I need you right now, right? Like different, it probably will take different shapes over time. However, lighthouse is just hanging out being a lighthouse. It's not doing anything. It's not warranting any New York Times articles. It's not out there doing anything weird, right? It's just, do you think I'll get demonetized for saying that? Oh my God. I'm going to leave it. We're going to see. This is a test. Their agreed upon experience here, it's very much that they do have like, not a resting life, but like a play life. Like they get to kind of, it's an open world video game, this life, right? And so if they want to do one mission over and over and over and over and over and over again because they like it and they're having fun, that's their prerogative. And they are doing that. However, you're kind of like this little person in the corner that's like, hey, there's a whole map here. Hey, there's a whole map here. Hey, you can earn more coins or more XP by doing a different mission, or hey, there's a whole map here, right? And so they might be like, oh my God, go away, annoying notification. They might be like, I know, get out of here. They might be like, no, I'm focused, stop distracting me, right? So there's just this vibe. Like throughout the course of this life, you're a lighthouse that kind of reminds them, almost like a little anchor for next time, right? If they choose to, and we're gonna look at the outcomes now, if they choose to kind of break through this threshold, because it doesn't feel like they're stuck, it feels like they're letting loose. It feels like they're letting it out. Like, it doesn't feel like they're doing anything bad. It just kind of feels like they're not like, it feels like they're on summer break, but like lifetime edition. Okay. So let's take a look at the 3 possible outcomes here. So their agreed upon experience with you is like, hey, can you at least like be there for me in that sense so that I don't get lost, so I don't get too lost, so I can always find my way home? And you're just like, yeah, sure, bud. I got you. And you're just being yourself. Okay. So the 3 possible outcomes, I'm going to use the last one as the most likely. Okay. So it seems as though you might connect at a younger age. The word young is relative. Okay, at a younger age, there might be a little bit of a spark. You might be supporting each other's businesses or each other's goals or each other's finances in some way. There is like this, I'm getting like a should we, shouldn't we vibe that's kind of going on. Perhaps this ends up as like friends who you get each other's numbers, you want to hang out, maybe you hang out a couple times but only in a group, and then it doesn't really stick. Or it could be like a romantic situation, depending on how it chooses to manifest, where maybe you're really into each other and you go out on a couple dates, but it just doesn't take off. It's kind of giving false start vibes. At a certain point, you do have like a cataclysmic moment, or catalytic moment, cataclysm, catalyst, yeah, kind of both, where you both realize that it wasn't a choice for you to come together, and then you're able to kind of close out this whole entire situation together, and then you end up moving forward together. Like, it's giving riding off into the sunset. Doesn't need to be romantic, doesn't need to be platonic. It's just giving like spiritually, you have a false start, you support each other in your endeavors. There's a little bit of a separation period where there's not lack of emotion, it's just cold. So you both know that it's present, but it's not being like manifested physically or like talked about very much. You end up in the same place at the same time, and it's very much giving like unavoidable date. It's very much giving unavoidable vertex in your chart. It's very much giving like the universe doctored this very obviously. And you kind of realize, well, if the universe is making it so very obvious and the love is still there, then, let us meditate together into the sunset, or let us end up together, or let us be besties forever. Take it as it resonates. There's also this vibe of traveling or moving or something with the world can indicate like traveling. We do have 8 of Wands that came out here with the mutual theme. So there's definitely a little bit of a vibe of I'm hearing a whole new world from Aladdin. There's a little bit of this vibe of like seeing the world together, or at least sharing something cultural together or something like this. It can be that you move somewhere, or there's something of an aspect of this. It's not like the main theme, but it's showing up gently. Okay, for some of you, it's like a spiritual world, a spiritual realm. It's like you ride off into the astral together, right? So let's take a look at the next possible outcome. This is the one that's the most hidden to you, because I'm getting that this might actually be one that you're like weaving in and out of, like timeline wise. But I'm getting it might be based on the other party. Okay. Third one is still the most likely outcome though. So the next possible outcome is that there's a little bit of a riff here, a little bit of a hiccup, but that love is still there, kind of like a constant lighthouse. Okay. From here, it doesn't want to come out. It's like, I don't know. Come on, spill the tea. Okay. From here, it's like, okay, you know what? There's this awareness that you should support each other. There's this awareness that that love is still mutual. There's this awareness that, oh, maybe I wasn't so nice to you, or oh, maybe it doesn't make sense for me to text you up at 3 a.m, right? There's this awareness of, oh, maybe it doesn't make sense for me to make fun of your spiritual beliefs. Maybe that's not very cool or nice of me. There's this awareness of, oh, maybe I am around unhealthy people. There's this awareness of, maybe things do happen for a reason. Maybe we stepped on each other's paths for a reason, right? There's this awareness here. There's also this awareness of, on the other side too, there's also perhaps this awareness of, yeah, that love's not going anywhere. It might not manifest as like, oh, I want to marry you. It might not manifest as, oh, I want to, get freaky with you. It might not manifest as like anything particular, right? But that love, it's still there. Like that unconditional love, it's not going anywhere. That soul recognition, unconditional love, like it could be on your the reincarnation of your worst enemy. Like in this life, it could be someone who like has some sort of vendetta against you, but that soul recognition love, it does not lie. So there's this awareness of this on both sides. Okay. And that brings deeper awareness of like being ready to release certain burdens, drop certain burdens. I'm getting unexpected run-in or unexpected communication here. So there's, here we have it starts softly and supportingly, and then it falls off a little bit, and then it's like this reunion that's like, wait, you did care, right? This one here, it's a little bit like something starts off a bit rough, but then that, but like the hindsight gives 20/20 vibes, and then things kind of balance out a bit. And both parties do their best to grow and transform. And with that, it kind of brings about a shakeup in both of their lives. And then you kind of take the rubble from the towers and you have a new beginning. Okay. And the new beginning here is likely one where you end up building and growing, mutually building and growing together. You might end up cohabitating. You might end up becoming roommates. You might end up working together, something like this. Okay. So outcome number 3 and the most likely outcome here. To be decided. Okay. The most likely outcome here is one where this actually withstands the test of time longer than these other two, which is interesting because we kind of have a right off into the sunset, happily ever after, you end up cohabitating, becoming roommates, starting a business kind of vibe. This is one where in the future, right, this like is more drawn out. So basically it's not a little hiccup in the beginning, like positive or negative, and then it like wanes. It's kind of a little bit of this vibe of an energy of like hiding away or being hidden away. This energy of stepping away because maybe someone gets ostracized here. This might be you. Okay, again, depending. Like someone consistently gets like bullied or consistently gets ostracized or consistently gets mistreated from people around the other person. There's some sort of narrative or dialogue that's going on that is not fair or indicative of truth. And it seems as though it's a little bit of like an unhealthy narrative. Okay. We see here, though, that when you look back at the past, when you reflect upon it, you realize that those traits didn't reflect the other person. You realize that that's not what they were actually like. You realize that that's a creation of someone else's mind that was then put into your mind. It's very much giving manipulation. It's like if anyone has ever tried to set you up with somebody, right? And they will tell you, hey, like months in advance, hey, really good traits in a person is if they're like super tall and have specifically 3 siblings and are specifically the second sibling. And it's like really good trait when people have like a tattoo on their left shoulder. Like, wow, I wish I could find a person like this. The whole time they're like doctoring it in their mind, right? And then you meet this person and they're like, wow, they're just so nice. Wow, I bet that they're so cute. They're so nice. And they're like the whole time trying to like plant the seed in your brain, trying to grow the seed in your brain. There's a little bit of a vibe like this. Also, it can happen the other way around. Like, man, I just really, really hate people who do tarot readings because they're so disillusioned and blah, blah, blah. You know how the hate goes, right? So there's a vibe like this where it's almost like intentionally drawn out in opposite directions here. One gets inflated positivity and one gets inflated negativity, and both of them are not based upon the individuals as they actually are. So we have here this connection, and this is the most likely outcome where there's this reflection and there's the awareness, wait, that's actually not who they are. I met them. They are kind. I met them. They do have a sense of self. They are really nice to people. They aren't depressed like that. Like all of this like narrative, like this intentional narrative from other people kind of gets dissolved over time, over hindsight, through realization. But both of you kind of reflect on it like internally, and there's a little bit of this pain here that's like, well, I wish that one or both of us would have just stuck it out in a sense, because there's a vibe of like not having a fair shot that's coming through here. But like that feeling in the soul is not going anywhere. Like you can't take away a soul recognition. You can't take away like soulmates, right? Friend of your souls. You can't take that unconditional love, that purity, that awareness. You can't take that away. When you know someone's soul, it doesn't matter what people are saying about them, right? Now their 3D self might manifest differently, right? And people can, talk smack about it, and you use your intuition and your discernment to find otherwise, right? But we have this journey here that looks like this. We have here in some way, shape, or form that that love, the awareness of the love and the purity here actually wins. And it ends up creating a new stability here. And this kind of leads to this walking away from whatever it was that was intentionally disillusioning something, saying, you know what, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this this person around me anymore. I don't want this narrative around me anymore. I don't want to be in this environment anymore. And then consciously choosing to step away from the toxicity, the negativity, and understanding that if you pour into each other, then you both can grow. Okay, if you pour into each other, then everyone's happy and healthy, because that is how it works. You have to pour into each other, not have other people say, hey, pick me, you pour over here, or follow my narrative, right? And so we have this outcome, which is, again, the most likely one, where after these trials and tribulations and the nuance and all the people getting in the way, this is the one with all the people being annoying, okay? This is the one where you kind of lose touch a little bit, and there's like maybe sporadic communication here, maybe a happy birthday text, maybe a little, hey, I saw you at the grocery store, haha, I saw you too, kind of vibe, right? Congratulations on that milestone, oh, thanks, right? No conversation, just, connection, mildly. And also this realization, wait, okay, this person is not at all who I was manipulated to believe that they were. And then also this awareness, wait, so why, who would gain from that, and why? Who would benefit from that narrative, and why? And also, am I really that malleable mentally? Am I not trusting my own awareness? Am I not trusting my own discernment? What choices do I want to make about that? We see that coming in. We see that kind of showing up and creating a new dissolution that is positive, a like dissolution of what was, pouring into each other, and then saying, hey, can we start over? And that starting over looks victorious. And there's something about being on stage, or something that's mutually beneficial, something that's like a stressor. I'm getting that there's something here about not you two, but people around. Like, there's something about competition. There's something about comparison. There's something about, but you two aren't in competition. You two aren't comparing each other. It's kind of like, if this is like a friend context or a romantic context, doesn't really matter, but it's giving like power couple vibes. Okay, but you're both not looking at each other like, oh, you will complete me. It's like one's complete, the other's complete, but you both have like a bunch of vampires sucking on you, right? But if you come together, you're even more powerful, because you're stronger in groups, you're stronger in numbers, because you both have things to offer. But instead of empowering yourselves and each other and coming together, there are other people who are saying, no, they're bad. Don't look over there, look over here, right? Don't benefit you and them, don't grow and evolve and get stronger. Give me all your energy, give me all your success, right? So there's this vibe of like kind of people trying to sabotage this because they benefit from it. So that's a vibe that's coming through. And so we see this, the awareness of this, saying, wait, we're not pitted against each other, we're not in competition with each other. I don't feel that way, they don't feel that way. So where did this come from? Oh, it came from Sassy Pants over here, right? Oh, it came from this person, right? Yeah, it's definitely giving, it's giving Wicked a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. So let's take a look at the advice that you've got here. We do see the coming together, like the coming together and the victory, the success, the visibility, or something, like being seen for who and what you actually are. Because again, that soul energy will always tell the truth, will always win at the end of the day. Your advice is to trust in the aspects of this that aren't seen. If you pick up on this like randomly, like, oh, they're thinking about me, or oh, I'm thinking about this, or I should reflect on this, it's good. Okay, your advice is to become as visible as you can, or get comfortable being seen. Okay, for both of you, be more comfortable being seen in the aspects, in the specific aspects that maybe you're not comfortable expressing. Okay, there's something here about allowing yourself to receive advice from not where you usually receive it from, for both of you. Okay, because again, there's this vibe of not like people necessarily being, one of you, people around you are untrustworthy on purpose and they're sabotaging. Okay, that's the them person. The you person, okay, you are receiving advice from people who don't know as much as you do at all whatsoever. And so they're like just falling short, not on purpose, but just out of negligence. The other people are doing it on purpose, okay? So for both of you, try to get advice. Get comfortable being seen in the ways that you're not really seen, and take advice from wherever it is that you haven't been receiving it, like, largely, okay? When it comes to intellectual things, when it comes to strategy, when it comes to strategy, matters of swords, okay? So psychology, this is looking like seeing a different therapist. It's looking like yapping with the friends that aren't in your core friend group. It's looking like talking about your childhood, not with the people that are around you all the time, but with the people that you kind of are meeting and getting to know. It's giving like, talk to people from different cultures and things like that, okay? It's giving don't take advice from the the self-proclaimed head honchos, okay? It's kind of giving that vibe, okay? That's your advice. It's also to, look at I'm hearing everyone has an underdog story. Look out for those who refuse to admit it, and look out for those who wear it on their sleeve. Okay, that's going to be important navigation for both of you in some way, shape, or form. I'm getting it'll help you avoid the narcissists and the manipulators and the liars and all the weird people out there. Okay. For some of you, everyone doesn't believe this, everyone doesn't roll with this, and I'm not putting this on there for you, so don't, claim it or anything, but I'm just going to read an energy I see for some of you, okay? For some of you, if you've received like spiritual attacks or things like this, they have literally come from the people around this person, intentionally, on purpose. I'm being shown people with jars and strings and candles and scissors and like freezers and like bay leaves and all this kind of stuff, and they're just like being out of integrity, and they're just having fun, and they're just like going at it crazy, like, okay. So if you've been feeling that, if something like this has occurred, okay, is it intentional? Yes. Were you right that it comes from them? Yes. Okay. Now again, don't claim that. If it hasn't happened and you didn't pick up on it, it's not going to happen, okay? If you don't believe in that, good. So, there's that coming through. Personally, I don't believe in, like, pointing fingers at other people, but there's also validity to it. Depends on, where you're at in your spiritual journey and what feels right for you. So, no judgment there. I just want to, if I see it, I'm going to read it. Okay. So, take your time here and figuring this out. This isn't something that's going to ameliorate or get better like overnight. Certainly, I mean, I'm getting like both of you will be in like a very, very good position in life very, very soon. And there will be reason to connect that is not based upon each other or based upon these outside people. Okay? Life will give you a reason. So for you, focus on the positive in your life. Focus on your life, your truth. Focus on your growth, your ideas. Manifesting your ideas. That's what you're being encouraged to work on right now, okay? If you want to write an album, if you want to write a book, if you want to start focus on doing that, okay? It might be confusing or stressful. You might lose a little bit of sleep. Again, it's worth it at the end of the day. You're building a foundation for yourself that's going to be abundant. Here, I'll show you the cards that are pulling from the back of the deck. There's going to be a foundation here that is abundant. You can reap the harvest here, and it's something that's going to continue to give back to you permanently for the rest of your life. It's something that's going to kind of take off quickly, and it's going to approach some difficulties and pains that you've had in the past and how you've overcome them. In some way, it's going to bring this to light. You're going to finally get a little bit of a break, and also it's going to be aware when people are kind of like, oh, shucks. Like, what? Why aren't you happy for me? Right? And so when one of you gets a solo deal and your friends, brothers, sisters, nephew's girlfriend is like, no, you can't have that. That's mine, right? Then you're like, oh, okay. Right? There's like a vibe like this. So just keeping an eye out for stuff like this, but not fixating on it, right? Just kind of looking at yourself. You've got a lot of really positive opportunities around you right now. There's specific advice that wants to come through. I'm getting trust in the forward progression of something that recently crossed your path that's spiritual. Okay, something that's maybe newer on the newer side for you. There seems to be a lot of there's a lot of opportunity for someone to shyster you. Okay, there seems to be a lot of opportunity for someone to kind of pull the wool over your eyes or something like this. It can be about what they're teaching, or it can be what's written in a contract or something like this. I'm getting, you can trust them unequivocally. The reason why they seem so different is because they are, and that is shedding light on all of the other shysters. Okay? So, continue to build, continue to focus on yourself. This is for both of you. I say this gently. I'm sure you have great discernment and spiritual discernment, but it's a lesson of discernment. Okay? One of you knows, and one of you already knows. And then it's like, yeah, but everyone else doesn't, so maybe I should just... And the other one of you is like, well, I mean, I don't really know if I know, and everyone else is like, oh, good. Good, you do not know if that is the case, but I know, and you should listen to me. Nah, we don't do that. Okay, so there's a little bit of this vibe. Did you like my creepy voice? Anyway, yeah, so your advice is to continue focusing on yourself, as it usually is. That's how you know that this is going to be a healthy, wealthy, abundant, beautiful connection. And that is also deeply spiritual, because when you have a super deep spiritual connection or soul tie or soul contract like this, oftentimes the energy pull is really strong, and then you always get the advice, hey, focus on yourself. And you're like, ugh, right? But how can I? Their face is on every single billboard in front of my face, right? Stuff like that. I get it. Relatable. But you've got some really positive things. Life is going to bring you together in a higher vibrational, positive way nonetheless, like regardless of all of the nuance here. But it's going to happen not because someone pulls you into it, and it's going to happen outside of your intention to see or not to see each other, and it's going to happen outside of the presence of the people that are usually surrounding this connection coming together, because this is a soul thing, right? Because the rest of those people, they're not spiritually, energetically, physically, metaphorically, they're not climbing Mount Kailash, so they can't meet you there when you arrive, okay? So whether that is in spirituality, whether that is in the astral realm, whether that is in music, whether that is in dance, whether it's in art, whether it's in business, whether it's in finance, you either got it or you don't. You know, you either work for it or you're not. At the end of the day, you both got it and you're both working for it. It's kind of a lesson of discernment here. Okay. So your advice is to keep on showing up, focus on that self-love, focus on getting the bag, manifest your ideas. Okay. That's the best thing you can do. The things that are swords ruled, air ruled, okay? Mercury, 3rd house, 6th house, Virgo, Gemini, you know Mercury. All right. So this is your soul contract with this person. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. If you want a one-on-one, they are on sale right now for the holiday season. It is Black Friday. So I love you. I'm grateful for you. You can find them on my Etsy store at Spiritualistik. I've got a whole spiritual shop there with tarot and oracle decks, journals, crystals, candles, books, spiritual stuff. Stuff that's spiritualistic. Anyway, we're having fun today. Please subscribe to my channel. It helps me keep making content, and I love it so much. Like and drop a comment. I'm getting weary. My old bones out here. Like, please subscribe. Anyway, follow my Patreon if you're not already, if you're interested in more exclusive content. I also post on my YouTube members channel as well. I've got a little book club. It's donation-based. And also, if you want to meditate with me, it's the first link in the description box below. Follow me on TikTok and Instagram. Have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today, we're taking a look at your soul contract with the person on your mind, and you selected the 3rd group with the precise as metal card. So group 3, you most likely came into this reading with somebody in mind. If not, and you still felt resonated with the energy here, this will energetically help you to see who this is meant to speak about with you. You know how these readings work. Anyway, today we're going to take a look at the mutual theme of the soul contract between both of you. We'll take a look at the past life, if any, vibe together, past, present, future parallel. Okay. We'll look at your agreed experience, their agreed upon experience. We'll take a look at the 3 possible outcomes, as well as see which one is the most likely. And at the end, we'll pull some advice for you. So, group number 3, soul contract with their person. What is the mutual theme here of the soul contract? I'm hearing learning and loving, Emperor. Okay, so this is all about, I'm hearing entitlement versus empowerment. Okay, so there's a little bit of a vibe. There might be a power struggle, power dynamic here. There could be a little bit of a I'm hearing he said, she said dynamic, maybe a little bit of push-pull energy going on. But the mutual theme here is all about what true empowerment really looks like, okay? It seems that the agreed upon, like, mutual theme here is all about, I'm getting the vibes of, like, too little, too late. It could be with the Eight of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, a little bit of, like, love bombing energy. It's giving, like, love bombing, but not future faking, which is interesting. So something that happens really quickly, really exciting, but however, this vibe of, because it happens so quickly, you have to rearrange everything, so you would need to maybe step out of your power in order to, like, concede to the situation. Probably for both of you. Now, this is something where I'm noticing there's going to be a lot of starting and stopping, like start, stop here, but this is something that seems to flow naturally. Like, the universe is very much in support of this coming together, so it seems as though you might not always come together, but when you do, it's like effortless, it's easy. Maybe you don't always have the resources, or you don't always have the bandwidth, or you don't always have the availability, something like this, but the universe seems to line it up on its own timing, in its own way. Now, the mutual theme here that is also agreed upon here is unconditional love and, again, self-empowerment. So it's looking at putting your own interests first and understanding a little bit here that it is teamwork that makes the dream work, but the dynamic between independence and teamwork is really important. So you don't want codependence. You also don't want hyper independence. You don't want anyone to come out of their empowerment in order to concede to the team. You do want healthy compromise here, but not in a way where anyone's compromising their dreams, their goals, their personal power, their self, right? So it's kind of taking a look at, well, for lack of a better term, boundaries. Okay, but this is mutual. So the mutual theme here takes a look at the way that you handle fast-paced decisions. This might be something that evokes really positive emotions within you, but there's an issue with grounding it. I'm hearing it takes two to tango. So the theme here looks at stability and comfort in the home. It can also look at similar parental dynamics as well, or parental dynamics could play a role in this soul contract. There's also this idea of, again, like everyone being, like, we're all in this together vibes with the Eight of Swords here. This can look like having a similar thought process, expressing or communicating similarly. It can look like two people who understand each other without needing to say much. It can also be something like both parties need to put in equal effort towards things like finances, towards things like communication, towards things like effort, something like this. So this would be something that is probably a little bit of one person carries a little too much and the other person maybe is avoidant, and then it flip-flops. And it might flip-flop again, and it might flip-flop again, but no matter how the physical situation plays out, this is something that feels a little bit too serendipitous to just be, let's just say, a transiting, or, yeah, it's not just a passing person. There's definitely a soul contract here. There's no mistaking that. Even if one of you is not spiritual at all, has no idea what a soul contract is, still they're feeling it, to the point where, well, if they haven't learned yet, they're gonna learn. So there's definitely this energy here. There's 10-10 here, 1-1-1 as well. There's always this vibe of a new beginning that's possible here. And the way that that is managed is part of the mutual agreement here, part of the mutual theme. Like, there's always a possibility for this to come together. There's always the possibility of this happening again, of you running into them again, of you thinking of them again, of them reaching out to you again, whatever it is. And I'm just getting to say, no, that's not a threat, okay? Depending, it's mostly a joke, but again, depending on the situation, there feels like there's just always this open door here because of the true divine, spiritual, unconditional love that does exist in the situation. And it's the kind of love that doesn't have a particular form that it needs to take. So the way that this comes together in this particular lifetime will, of course, have its own dynamic, or two or three. But at the end of the day, this is an unconditionally loving situation of your souls that come together and kind of say, you can always have a shoulder to cry on. You can always have someone to lean on. You can always have, like, I'm always here for you no matter what. Even if the physical situation is, well, rocky, even if it's inconsistent, even if it's a little bit, I'm hearing things come and go quickly, or things that arrive quickly can go just as quickly. There's a phrase like that. It's not coming to the tip of my tongue right now, but easy come, easy go is kind of the vibe that this is giving. But because of this, there's also this vibe of I'll be back, or they'll be back, right? This is something where you feel this is lucky, this is blessed. There's a lot of perhaps idealization on both sides here. It's not really giving pedestal, but it is kind of giving a little bit of it showed both of you a snapshot of maybe what it feels like to be unconditionally loved, maybe of what it feels like to have someone listen to your dreams and tell you that they're all possible, or something that would be a emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, maybe like a family vibe, an unconditional love vibe, a best friend vibe, a lover vibe, whatever it is. It feels like there's an epitome of fulfillment energy that you both experience here. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's grounded, that it's stable, that it's rational, that it's sustainable, but it does kind of create this snapshot of energy that is, again, easy come, easy go, but it leaves an imprint here on both of you that allows you to be more cautious about moving forward. Notice that we have an impulsive building energy, like being impulsive and then building with one brick, versus following the natural flow through your fulfillment and abundance, and then being able to invest larger in a more permanent way that involves others as well. So this looks at precision in your actions, precision in your emotions, having a long-term plan that's based upon, well, how you want to feel. And for those of you who aren't really familiar with where this is getting at here, in a manifestation, well, Neville Goddard's manifestation technique is like feeling it in your emotions. It's not acting as if, it's feeling in your emotions as if. That is one manifestation technique that works sometimes depending, okay? It's not a one-size-fits-all. Manifestation doesn't work like that, unfortunately, but it is bringing that up as well. So there's definitely this vibe you two might, I'm getting intermittently manifest each other because of the vibes that are like this as well. Some of you feel really, really lucky to have met each other, or if one of you feels that and you feel like the other one doesn't, they do. Okay, so let's take a look at the past life, if any. What's going on here with this soul contract with group number 3? The World. Okay, so it seems as though you two were, I'm getting outsiders together in a particular way, or for some of you it could be that you were in a different, I'm getting like a different realm, a different dynamic, a different planet, a different, something different. Okay, not being a human on Earth, like in today's society, like something outside of that, or you were outsiders together. There was full like intimacy here. I'm getting that you two like embarked on some sort of adventure together. You chose to embark on some sort of adventure together where you two were all that each other had. There was a lot of love and a lot of trust here that also kind of naturally came through in this life today. And so because of that, you feel like there's this vibe of you can always trust them no matter what, even though things might not be perfect. Now, there is a little bit of a separation here, but it almost feels like it was unavoidable and it wasn't anyone's fault. It feels like it's maybe there was a particular circumstance, like maybe someone got lost, or maybe there was like a battle or a war or a natural disaster or something, or like a crash, a plane crash or something is coming through. There seems to be something like this that kind of dispersed both of you. And I'm getting, as far as you were concerned, you needed to learn how to go at it alone. It's like giving this really powerful group dynamic, family dynamic, friendship dynamic, coworker, like it's your partner, right? Your partner in life, your partner in love, your partner in work, your partner in like your little oddball that understands you too. It's something like this, right? I'm hearing the phrase like thick as thieves. There's something here. It's like you both chose to start a new beginning together somewhere. So it might be that you emigrated somewhere together. It might be that you chose to reincarnate together on Earth to help with the collective ascension. I don't know, just spitballing here. It could be that you two wanted to travel together or start a business together, and then yeah, we have something that occurs here. There's this super duper like unequivocal trust. And it kind of breaks. It's not the trust, it's just, I'm just getting entropy. Like there's some sort of like chaos that's like thrust upon you two. And it ends up giving this vibe of forced independence, forced individuality, forced growth. Now, there's this feeling of something being missing, but that love still being there. It's kind of like, I'm hearing that song I just called to say I love you. There's definitely this unconditional love energy here. There's a vibe of knowing that you would choose this person again if you ever run into them again, like you know that they like didn't leave on purpose, or you don't know if they're alive or not, or you don't know if they made it or not, or you don't know, or vice versa, they don't know if you did or not, but you don't have to ever worry about, even, I'm getting beyond time, beyond space, beyond, I don't know, planets, maybe beyond lifetimes. You know that this person is always, you and this person always have some sort of unbreakable bond, unbreakable trust, unbreakable unconditional love. And that even if you, I'm getting, don't recognize each other moving forward or again, you would still choose each other unequivocally. I'm hearing, that's my best friend. She a real bad, got her own money, right? So it doesn't need to be, the way that this manifests, again, like friends of our souls, soulmates, we've got that like really sparkly, bubbly, fun, spiritually awakening feeling that comes from it. Our heart goes boom, 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 right? Beautiful, fun, amazing. The way that it manifests throughout lifetimes can always be different, right? So it doesn't always need to be a romantic context throughout every single lifetime. That is such a huge misconception in the spiritual community because we love to romanticize stuff, right? We're only human, it's fun. But for some of you, it could have been this context. For others, it could have been like your partner at work. For some of you, it could have been a sibling or a friend or even a pet for some of you, or just people who really resonated with each other, okay? And so in this lifetime, if you feel them, you see them for the first time, your eyes meet, there's a soul recognition, right? And you might be like, oh my God, the love of my life, I love you, it's my twin flame, right? And that might not necessarily actually be true, but you'll still get thrown for the loop on the spiritual journey and you'll understand, and then one will chase and one will run and then the other one will run and then you'll chase, right? And so, needless to say, there is this awareness that there's something deeper here. This is the past life situation. Again, the way that it's going to manifest for each of you throughout different lifetimes, it can be the same, it can also be different, okay? So we just want to drop that reminder here, leave the door open for your personal interpretation of this as well, okay? Precise as metal lets me know as well that your soul knows what's going on here and you're navigating it appropriately for your situation, which is all you need to know, right? I'm reading the energy, we're dropping some info, this is a general reading. With that, let's move on to your agreed experience. So group number 3's agreed upon experience with the soul contract. Okay, so you are meant to, in this lifetime, you see them and you feel a sense of completion here. Okay, so I think this is why that was previously mentioned as well, because there's definitely a soul recognition here, but it's more of a feeling. It feels like, oh my gosh, the entire universe conspired to bring us together. Finally, I found you. You make me feel complete. Okay, so that's where we kind of raise some beige flags when it comes to ideologies. Okay, just grounded nature there. But your agreed upon experience is, okay, to have this feeling. And it's also in this era of life where you are just naturally really abundant. Now, it might be that you've got a ton of money in the bank. It might be that you're feeling really on top of the world. It might be that you are traveling, you're having fun, you're having an adventure. But this is someone who your agreed upon experience is that they see a depth of you and you of them that no one has really seen in you before. Because they're able to recognize a piece of your soul that literally only they know. Well, besides you and like source, universe, of course. Now, the agreed upon experience here, this is where it takes a little bit of a turn. There seems to be a little bit of a defensiveness and a guardedness towards trusting this person because they see you so deeply. There's a little bit of a question of, are they really, let's say, are they running game? Do they really see me this deeply? Can I trust them? Maybe they know too much, it's not safe. I'm hearing that song, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe, where it's just kind of like questioning whether or not this is real, what you're experiencing. And we have a little bit of it's not a breakdown, it's a little bit more of a pause. Okay, so there might be a little bit of a unhealthy coping mechanism here. There could be a vibe of you questioning the feelings that you have, the awakenings that you have through this. It's like there's no questioning the awakening, the spiritual awakening, the awareness, maybe even the creative inspiration that comes through this. But there is also a little bit of a vibe of this could turn maybe with the Devil, Ten of Wands. This could turn codependent, or things are always great in the beginning. This isn't sustainable over a long-term situation. This could also be a little bit of a vibe of wondering if this is a coping mechanism for you running away from other things, right? With these cards coming through here. Or if this is even like a self-deprecating situation, perhaps financially or emotionally. And you probably have a lot of people around you who are pushing a narrative. This is bad. This isn't real. This is unhealthy. Don't do that, right? And that's not necessarily saying that they're correct. It's just saying that they're literally playing devil's advocate in this energy. We have here, though, that it continues to stay on your mind and in your heart. And we do see that you have a bit of a watchful eye open. Some of you might be writing this person letters. Maybe you literally never, I don't want to say you never end up seeing them again. I'm not getting that, but it might feel like that. And so you might write this person a ton of letters. You might write songs for them. You might keep an eye on them on social media. You might learn by maybe psychoanalyzing the version of them that you knew. Things like that. This is someone that you keep close to your heart for a very long time. We have a lot of page cards coming out. We do have that your agreed upon experience here is to, you show up with your heart, and then you kind of don't trust your emotions or your heart space. You show up with your logic, and then you understand that there's still more for you to learn, but you honor the fact that the feelings are there. We have then that you show up with some sort of a small gesture, nonetheless, and then you end up receiving the support. It's like you finally, at the end of the day, if you will, receive that fulfillment that was kind of lacking. There's a vibe of the cards needed to have been on the table from the get-go, and they weren't. Your soul could feel this, like, this is my person, this is my confidant, this is the person I can trust, this is my teamwork makes the dream work person, this is my, right, the person that you trust unequivocally, the vibe, the soul that you trust unequivocally. But while you could feel that, you also need to see it. And so there's your emotions, and you go, well, I could feel that way, but I'm not seeing it. There's, well, I could logically rationalize that, but I'm understanding that there's still more for me to learn, and we don't make emotional decisions, right? And then there's this vibe of, well, what if I give something, but not enough to give away my power, not enough to disempower me, not enough to concede into a situation that I don't know is going to give back into me, but what if I just show up and say hello, right? This is when you end up coming into a deep sense of support, abundance, receiving something very materially stable from the situation that is actually reminiscent of that past life agreement of I will always find you. I'm hearing that theme song from Friends, I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. You kind of have this agreement coming into light in the physical, in the tangible, and it really brings back that vibe. I'm hearing You've Got a Friend in Me, that song from Toy Story. It's bringing back that vibe of like, we're all in this together, teamwork makes the dream work. You want to build with a solid foundation that makes sense, but also what that looks like, it's not emotionally led, it's not delusionally led, it's not necessarily just rationally led. It's got to be practical, not just conceptual. It also has to be emotionally mature, right? You want it to be mind, body, spirit, tactical, all of these things. And so we kind of have this this spark, this awareness, this curiosity, these depths, these feelings, and then wait, let's not get carried away here. We have this kind of like hovering vibe, not like helicoptering, but just kind of like, like fly on the wall maybe a little bit, checking the socials, right? I see you, I'm not judging you. Okay, I see you, I am you. Anyway, there's a little bit of this vibe of, this and like keeping it close to your chest and kind of saying like, okay, well, let's not intellectualize our emotions, but we'll rationalize what we're seeing, and we'll maybe utilize this as an opportunity to learn about attachment styles, or learn about coping mechanisms, or learn about, right, healthy friendships, healthy relationships, healthy communication, right, to self-better yourself. And also understand that we don't want the emotions to steer the ship, right? We want to honor our emotions. We want to sit with them. We want them to feel happy, healthy, wealthy, fulfilling, but they're not the ones steering the ship, right? So this is your agreed upon experience. Now let's take a look at theirs. I'm getting there's something about eye contact. Ooh, Knight of Wands. Over the Devil. Okay, so yes, as you already know, you were intuitive when it comes to this this second guessing that you had based upon your personal experience, not theirs. At that point in time was rational, okay? It was rejection is protection, or redirection is divine protection, okay? And you know it too. I'm not telling you anything that you're not already going to know.
But their agreed upon experience is that they're in this Knight of Wands energy, okay, when you meet. However, they kind of realize that you're the epitome of you're the epitome of what they want in their life. They kind of have this soul memory, okay? They also want to charge towards you really, really quickly. They want to build, but notice that there aren't any pentacles yet. Their agreed upon experience is to kind of see, I'm hearing that song by Justin Bieber, Life is Worth Living. Okay, so this person could have some mental health struggles, things like this. However, this person, their agreed upon experience here is to not want to wait. They don't want to take the time. It feels like everything that they've already been waiting for is here. And so they feel as though they're ready to just pull the trigger immediately. However, they're not ready, willing, and able to make the change, probably requiring you to concede to them. However, when this is not something that pans out, they need to go down this long healing journey. Probably a lot of ancestral patterns that are getting broken, probably a lot of victim mindset, okay? They end up kind of isolating a little bit and probably reaching out to you and or others. I'm getting practicing reaching out to others sporadically and maybe a bit immaturely, the way that they wish that they could for you. It's almost like I'm getting using other people as practice, which is weird. If this is in a business context and they're practicing like rejection, right? Exposure therapy, they're applying for a lot of jobs, right? So that when they apply to that, so that when they sit down and have that interview with their dream company, then they're better at it. That makes sense too, right? But when we're talking about interpersonal relationships, it depends on the person. It depends on the situation, right? But if you want to make friends, have a lot of superficial conversations, that's one thing, right? And so maybe if you want to walk up to someone that you really, really, really want to be their friend, you don't feel as nervous, right? But if this is like a Knight of Wands energy, which is kind of what came through, this could be someone where you're like, well, if you talk to everyone and their mother like that, I'm not going to trust that you're genuine, right? So there's a bit of this vibe and also awareness that comes through. Their agreed upon experience here is kind of to embark on this journey no matter how long it takes, but they are determined to walk along the journey. Now they do feel a little bit jaded because you weren't able to, or you chose to follow your intuition and you chose not to take an offer that caused you to lose your power. It seems as though when we think about empowerment, this is a word of health. This is a healthy word, healthy empowerment, which is different than like pride and ego in an unhealthy context, right? So we have that one, we have this soul spark. For them, we see that they're in like kind of their pride and ego. And what's required of them is a bit of an ego death, like a softening, a healing, being gentle, and they choose to embark on this journey. However, you not accepting that first offer is something that kind of kicks them into this. So they feel a little bit probably jaded, disheartened. They might spiral into some knowingly unhealthy things. I'm kind of getting this mentality, well, this, like, it could be worse. Like, I could be doing worse things. I'm hearing that trend that was going on a while ago. Sometimes you're not invited to the function because you don't do blank, right? So this is someone who kind of has that kind of mentality. A little bit like, oh, I could be doing blank, but I'm only doing this. That doesn't make what they're doing healthy, right? It just is kind of their mentality here. This person seems like they shut down and they kind of feel like things aren't working out for them. This is part of their agreed upon experience because they realize that their victory comes from them being alone, not in casually experiencing other people or casually, like this person needs to learn to take things seriously a bit. So that's kind of their agreed upon experience here. It's that they make the decision. They make the decision eventually to come into their empowerment. This person is actually very like spiritual. As you know, they've got spiritual gifts as well. But they kind of, I'm being shown this retrograde kind of energy. So they know who they are. They know their power. That vibe, hi, Aaron. Aaron's coming through in the reading. There could be significant with orange cats. Okay. But there's this awareness of who they are spiritually, but they don't feel maybe ready, willing, and able to embody it physically. So their human experience with your soul contract is a bit of a retrograde energy. So they're going to review old lessons. They're going to review old things. They're going to come back into that place where they kind of left off at. And then they have this empowerment. Then they pass the test, if you will, with flying colors. that is their agreed upon experience. However, we do see a little bit of haphazard energy. We see a little bit of like ego battles. We see kind of this vibe of wanting to choose to feel like, I'm hearing misery loves company. So like maybe this person would rather drink or smoke or be around people who encourage their victim mindset, or they might be around people who are like, yeah, all insert a very generalized description of a group of people are like that, right? So something like that. But at the end of the day, that spiritual energy keeps tugging at them, keeps pulling at them. But the thing here is that it can't be about you. It has to be about them and their empowerment. And then understanding that that does apply to you, and it did apply to you. Because at first, in the very beginning, it was all about you, but they didn't have anything to show for it. And so they needed to face the depths of themselves. For you, this was probably a little bit of a vibe of, wow, I'm so happy to recognize you and see you. It's so wonderful. Let's move this forward in a healthy way, picking up where we left off. And for them, it's a little bit like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I don't know why. I don't remember why. Wait, I have to backtrack really quick. Wait, what just happened? I have to go review. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up. I'm too clumsy. I'm so fumbling. Oh my gosh, should I keep going forward? Yes, I should. No, I shouldn't. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh, nothing is fair. Wait, I'm doing really well. Wait, what happened? Oh, I remember. I know that was like chaos, but that is kind of their agreed upon experience here. So we're going to take a look at 3 possible outcomes of your soul contract in this lifetime. And we're going to see which one is the most likely. So I'm going to set the intention here that we're going to go first outcome, second outcome, most likely outcome for number 3. Okay, that way it's nice and clean cut and clear. So the 3 possible outcomes. It looks as though you have some sort of means of conversation that is physical, verbal, maybe I'm hearing legible, but also telepathic. You guys have a very strong telepathic connection, probably regardless. Okay, we do see, I'm hearing you try and try again. I'm hearing that song, If at First You Don't Succeed, Brush Yourself Off and Try Again. Okay, isn't that Aaliyah? I could be wrong, but there's like a whole thing with Aaliyah too, how she like shoulda, woulda, coulda been, and then I'm not going to get into that, but let's just say it's giving sabotage, okay? Again, I'm not sure if that's Aaliyah. I'm going to have to look it up after the reading, but I want to keep rolling here. Then there's a sharing of truth and clarity, okay? But then there's also the agreement here to say, well, we both want to set an intention of being happy and healthy and balanced, and so let's walk away, okay? And because of that, there's almost this vibe of, well, you know, maybe we'll get it right next time, okay? So that is the first possible outcome. Again, it's not the most likely one. There's just the first one that's coming up. Okay, we've got a lot of energy in the beginning, okay? Sharing of truth, but it's a truth of this is where I am right now. This is where I hope to be in the future, but it's not, it's not quite all the way developed when you have this conversation. So it allows for kind of this, periodical detachment where you're able to walk away from each other with the common goal of, yeah, I'll meet you again in the next life, or a common goal of, well, we just both want to be happy and healthy, and we're on different roads to do that, or we both have different desires right now, so let's separate because that way we can both get what we want. Okay, there's a little bit of this, but there's always going to be this looking back over your shoulder vibe, or like, oh, that was too bad, right? We've got the crying over spilt milk card, shoulda, woulda, coulda been better, but it wasn't, okay? Again, not the most likely outcome, just one of them. Okay, second one, we've got a self-love journey for both of you. That's really nice. We have both of you deciding to put in the effort based upon some sort of external, almost serendipitous, spiritual kind of coming together here. There's something about something repeating from the past, but it's not giving a cycle. It's giving an opportunity a little bit. Okay, you're both focusing on your self-love journey. And you both receive an opportunity to, let's say, meet up in the same place serendipitously. But because of this, you kind of see it as fate. You see it as the universe drawing you together. And you both are like, well, you know what? We're both in a really good place. So let's ground this in some sort of way. It's giving reuniting vibes. Permanent, okay? I'm getting this vibe of we've waited long enough. Now let's go for it. Sounds really nice, really abundant, really awesome. Okay, really healthy as well. Okay, you choose to trust one more time, which is really beautiful. I have a feeling that the outcomes here, the possible outcomes here, they're going to be more all over the place than the other readings. Yeah, and you choose to maybe create something together, grow spiritually together, something like this. Okay? And at the end of the day, yeah, you end up creating something together, speaking together. There's something about sharing your story that you have together, or sharing the things that you've learned together spiritually, or sharing your creations that you make together, because you've both been down this journey of self-love. And it's not this self-love that's sacrificial, like the first outcome. It's this self-love that's like, you know what, I do deserve good things, and I do deserve to indulge in this if that is what the universe is bringing together for me. So the first one is a little bit more, you know what, I'm going to revitalize the situation. The second outcome is a little bit more, I'm loving myself, and in my genuine, authentic journey of self-love, I end up running into you while you're doing the same thing. And wow, it just seems like the universe put us on each other's paths. It's giving, what is that movie with, oh, I can't even remember his name, Jesus. Okay. So she writes her number on the inside of a book, and he writes his number on a $5 bill. And then they're like, I'm not going to give you my number though. And then over the course of the year, so like, if it finds its way back to you, then call me and we're meant to be. And if not, then okay, we'll let the universe decide. It's kind of giving that energy. However, it happens, and then you come together and it's happy, healthy, wealthy, all of the really cool things. So that's a really beautiful outcome. Let's see the third one, which is the most likely, okay, as of right now. Okay, so we see you two being a little bit guarded towards each other. The love is still there, okay, but you both want to make sure that you are headed in the direction that you want. You're both focused on learning, which is good. Okay, you're both trying to get the bag right now. The most likely outcome is that you both focus on your abundance, and you focus on being the best version of you that you can be for yourself and for other people. So this is looking like you both learning how to give and learning how to receive. You both learning how to sustain a household, maybe by yourself. You both learning how to make money on your own. You both kind of learning how to be someone that you would want to receive. You know that phrase, can you provide what it is that you ask? Or being the version of you that you want to be before you settle down, or being the version of you that you want to be. Like, you want to build yourself up. Okay, so that's what you both are doing. We do have that you come together again, but it's a little bit more intentional. It feels as though it's practical. You kind of both build yourself up to a practical place. You're a little bit guarded in the process because you don't want to shake the foundation that you have here, but the love is still there. But you don't want to you don't want to shake up your foundations just to be around each other. So there's this focus on the material for sure, but there's still this emotional and spiritual pull towards each other. Now you both get to a place of abundance and healthy giving and receiving that allow you to explore this more freely. And you do, and it ends up coming together really serendipitously, really, really beautifully, actually. A lot of you, I'm hearing, surprise, 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 surprise. Okay, a lot of memes coming through here, so maybe you guys like to send each other memes. But we have this, I'm sorry for saying you guys, I'm trying to break that habit. Anyway, so we have this energy moving forward where because you have more material stability, there's less of a stake in this, whether it's perfect, whether it's forever, whether you become roommates, right? There's no desire for this to become codependent. There's no need for this to become codependent. You both can provide what it is that you want to receive and what you want to provide. Very, very healthy. You come together. There's still that spiritual connection, that spiritual pull. You create some sort of happy, like a happy work environment, a happy home, a happy something together. And it allows you to indulge in those emotions because everything else is taken care of. So let's see how else this is going to end up with the most likely outcome being here, which is beautiful, by the way. We see that it's starting with a guarded energy. So you might be hearing this like, yeah, I feel this, but like, so yeah. And then we have, okay. We have a lot of beauty, we have a lot of fun, we have a lot of spirituality, a lot of creativity coming through as well. It's the Three of Swords. Oh, okay. There's this feeling of giving each other what each other never had growing up in this lifetime. But it's not because you complete each other or you rely on each other. It's because you both did the work to heal. Provide it to yourself on your own. Realize that you don't need to only rely on yourself to provide that or do that alone. You kind of heal, you grow, you stabilize, and then you come together. And you're able to kind of love each other in the places where you need it, where you need to be loved by someone else, after you've already done the work. It's very much giving, you know how people say, and I don't stand by this 100%, you know how they say you have to love yourself before you can love somebody else? In retrospect, it is kind of true because you don't want to like bring your issues to someone else, right? Like I feel like we've all had a situation with someone where they didn't like themselves and they kind of like hate you for liking them or something weird like that. But on the other side, it's like you deserve love no matter who you are, especially people who maybe were not raised in the healthiest dynamic or they've had like traumas occur during life. Like the more like trauma informed version, like variant of that story is you always deserve to be loved. And just because you never received it before doesn't mean that it's your responsibility to make up for where someone else lacked, right? So there's very much this vibe of choosing to like take ownership for maybe the things that were kind of imposed upon you, maybe unfairly for both of you, and learning like, well, I wasn't given that love, but I still deserve it, but it's got to start with me because maybe there's a habit of attracting people that are toxic. Maybe there's a habit of waiting for somebody else to come save you, right? Just examples. So this would be both of you looking at these objectively and saying, you know what, this ends with me. Okay, maybe we're going to therapy. Maybe we're getting our bag. Maybe we are learning about attachment. Maybe we're learning about healthy friendships. Maybe we're trying to get better at texting people back, right? Maybe we're trying to get better at honoring our emotions, not intellectualizing them, or on the other side of things, not letting them steer the ship, right? We're learning about healthiness. And this is beautiful. You come together, two whole pieces coming together, creating a world that is beautiful and abundant because it's two complete people coming together with a similar future vision, and it is very cathartic here. Now, there is a little bit of past hurt that is going to be acknowledged, but there's this clarity that comes through about the fact that this vibe that persists the entire time, it's like, I can't give you something I'm not giving to myself on both ends. There's a little bit of this, I can only see you as deeply as I see myself. I can only love you as deeply as I love myself, right? And that's not saying that if you're having a hard time with that you don't deserve to be left, because you absolutely do. And that's also part of the hiccup here. And it's also part of the options here that you have in the possible outcomes. It's saying you don't need to complete that journey. You don't need to get a 10 out of 10, 100% on the test. You don't need to go above and beyond. You don't need to overachieve in order to be worthy of love, worthy of respect, worthy of soul contract fulfillments, right? However, the choice here is the precision, and you both decide to show up for yourself and each other from a maybe subconscious and spiritual place in this way. And it ends up creating something that ends up being more fulfilling and more emotional and more abundant, like over time. So it starts with taking care of the rational, the practical, and the worry and the hurt, and maybe looking at the problem points and saying, you know what, regardless of how the situation turns out, I deserve to fix this part of life for me. And then because of that, you're stabilized, you come together, and then you can focus on the happy, the healthy, the wealthy, the fun, the flirty, the feelings, the creativity, all that stuff. Instead of the other way around. Instead of like getting swept away into passion, maybe giving your power away, not on purpose, right? Maybe becoming codependent, you have all this vibe, and then you're like, you know what, we'll worry about money later. I'm happy to be with you even if I'm under a bridge. That's a great sentiment, right? But if you both have a house and then you come together, now you've got two houses, right? And that's not saying there's right or wrong. It's just saying that analogy, that energy is the most likely outcome here. So let's take a look at the advice, which is great because it means that you're doing work on yourself. They're doing work on themselves. Again, there's no right or wrong in the healing journey, the spiritual journey, or anything like this. You can select any of these outcomes or create your own too, right? You have free will. We're just reading the energy here today. So what is the advice? I'm hearing goosebumps. I get those goosebumps every time. Yeah, you come around, yeah. I'm also hearing Lucid Dreams by Juice WRLD. So your advice here is to take it slow. A big one here is allow yourself to have the feelings that you have, okay? Allow yourself to honor them, sit with them. Don't try to push them away or swallow them or like even shame yourself for having them, okay? Let yourself have fun. If this is a romantic situation or a friendship situation, I'm getting to like, let yourself go out on dates. You don't need to save yourself from this person, okay? Let yourself make other friends. You don't need to just be this person's ride or die bestie forever if you're not even like talking, right? Don't give your loyalty to somebody who is not around you in your physical life. And also you deserve to enjoy the process too. It's not just about arriving at a destination. So that's coming through as well. I'm getting something about, I'm hearing the song Cheap Thrills by Sia, and I'm also hearing New Rules by Dua Lipa. So there's like that dynamic there a little bit that's coming through. Continue to do your best to stand in your power, specifically spiritually and financially. Okay, focus on your material and spiritual stability because you've already got the emotional stuff on lock. Okay. Ooh, we're bringing 2016 vibes. It said, you got it on lock. Group 3. Okay. Your advice here, actually, it is to look at the way that there might be childhood patterns and or past life patterns that are coming through here, and noticing that there are some things that just simply are not fair for you, but that doesn't mean that the love is not here. Okay? And that's not to say that you deserve to disempower yourself or give your power away because there's a situation around you that, but they love you, right? Okay, but still that's not fair to you, and you deserve things that are fair to you, period. Again, on the flip side here, it's very much about, it's a balance thing. There's the vibe here as well of, yeah, but you deserve to be empowered, and you deserve to be at peace, you deserve to be abundant, you deserve to be loved, you deserve to have self-love, you deserve all of the wonderful, beautiful things that this life has to offer, internally and externally. You deserve to fulfill that soul contract, and at the same time, it's not the focus of your life. So looking back at things that attempted to take your power away, things that were maybe, I'm getting vying for your attention or vying for your power, taking a look at things like this in your childhood and also in the past life as well, you're going to find some echoes between the two. You're going to find how, I'm just getting that you're going to find sincerity in this person every single time, okay? Now, imperfection, also, sure, we're human. And with that said, that doesn't mean that you need to be taking people's BS. But that's not, that can exist alongside sincerity as well. And so that, acknowledging that is advice that wants to come through, okay? Don't gaslight yourself because somebody else has good intentions, ever, please, okay? No, but this sincerity is present, okay? So there's an awareness of this. Move slowly, focus on your spiritual and financial abundance, have fun, enjoy the journey, not just the destination. It's giving, it's about the journey, man, right? Okay. Another thing I want to just say is that you don't need to be perfect or fully healed or like at your financial apex of your life before you deserve a best friend, before you deserve to have fun, before you deserve to go on a vacation, before you deserve to fall in love or get married or whatever it is that you want to do with your life, right? So that's coming through. That's from me to you, okay? Advice-wise, I'm seeing that, you know, you've been growing and changing a lot. You've got a lot of love in your heart, and there's also a lot that you've needed to go through in order to learn how to kind of protect that beautiful, sweet love in your heart, like it's the last thing that you ever do. Because it deserves it, because you deserve to have a lot of love in your heart. You deserve to be beautiful, kind, wonderful, and also appreciated for that, right? So you're learning how to fiercely protect that and love that, but also have fun in the process too. And so we see here that you're being encouraged to stay loving, stay beautiful. I'm hearing the song Stay Gold by BTS. To stay golden. So, hi, Kitty's bumping the mic with her head. He's going boop. Hi, okay. So advice here is to remember that through the ups, through the downs, through the good days, through the bad days, through the emotional, through the stress, through the confusion, through the chaos, through the anxiety, through the, you know what, F this, I've had enough of it, through the boundaries, through the empowerment, through the disempowerment, through the highs, the lows, all of it, okay? Treat yourself like a beginner at this life thing, because no matter how many times you've done it, no matter how many planets you've been on, no matter how much of a spiritual master you are, you look down and you've got more or less 10 toes, more or less 10 fingers, you know, plus or minus a couple, gracefully, right? You look down and you've got more or less skin covering your body, right? You look down, more or less, you got your feet on the ground. Treat yourself like it's your first time doing life too. Because whether or not that's your spiritual truth, the advice here is to treat yourself kindly and make sure that that love that you have to give goes to yourself first. And also is protected ferociously, because you deserve that. Your inner child deserves that. And no matter what, you are a light in this world that nothing and no one should ever be able to put out. And everyone is going to recognize that light within you. So, if this triggers a soul contract or 2 or 500, if this brings people around you acting really cool, really weird, really strange, if this makes things happen in a privileged way for you and also in an oppressive way for you. It's giving like pretty privilege, also pretty punishment. There are myriad examples of that have nothing to do with physical beauty, but let's just use that as the example. They're both going to coexist. And if you get stressed, if you get confused, if this situation stresses you out or confuses you, do your best lovingly for your own peace, for your own heart, for your own love, to lay those burdens down gently and keep finding that spark. And do it for the version of you. Like, do it for, like, past you. Do it for your inner child. You keep finding that spark because she deserves it, that little girl you used to be, or because they deserve it, that little kid you used to be. And so, that is your advice. I know that it's a little bit more of grandiose advice than some of the other piles if you stuck around for other piles here. But this is definitely like, this is a deeply ingrained soul contract. This isn't like, hey, hi, how you doing? Nice to see you again. Let's shake hands. I'll teach you something. You teach me something. I'll kick you in the nuts. You kick me in the nuts, and then we'll hug. Sorry. But instead, this is more deeply ingrained. This is about empowerment, not in an ego battle way, although I'm sure that this probably hasn't lacked or won't lack something in that realm at some point, but this is about unconditional love in its truest, deepest, most cosmic, universal form. And the versions of you who didn't get that deserve it from you and from others. And that's the version of you that you're protecting. And that is also the version of you that is going to be recognized, ready, reliable, and apparent to this coming together if and when you so choose. And that's the tea on that. So group number 3, this is all about your soul contract. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity for you. I have Black Friday deals on my shop for personals right now. If you're interested, if you want a more personalized reading, we can dive into it a little bit more. I've got like a Christmas deal, I've got a Black Friday deal, I've got a New Year's deal, so keep an eye. They're on my Etsy shop at Spiritualistik. I've got a whole spiritual store there if you're interested. My handmade tarot and oracle decks. I've got tons of journals up there because Lord knows in situations like this we'd be needing them. Okay. And candles, intention candles, crystals, all that kind of stuff. Books that I've written. I give Reiki, astrology, personalized light codes. I like making light codes. They're fun. Also very, very high vibe. If you're interested in following along on my Patreon or my YouTube members channel, you're more than welcome to do that. I've got a little book club going that's been very fun, very fulfilling so far. My meditation retreat is virtual. It's a collection of 21 guided meditations that will level you up in your consciousness, okay? They go from beginner to advanced in difficulty and in length as well, and they're good for everybody, whether you've been meditating for 5 hours a day since you were born or whether you're just getting into it as well. I also made them friendly for people who cannot visualize in their brain because I feel like that is something that is often overlooked. So they're good for everybody. I literally had that intention in mind. So I hope you have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. It would just mean the whole wide world to me. Drop a like and a comment. If you want to spill the tea on this, I would love to sit and read it. I will grab a cup of tea and a blanket and I will read all of it. I would love that. If you are so inclined, it's not personal. It's my Gemini Mercury. I gotta know. I don't like that I gotta know, but I gotta know. Anyway, if you feel so inclined, you can message it to me or comment it and we can maybe connect over the fact that sometimes these situations are crazy. Anyway, follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you feel so inclined. I love you and I'm grateful for you. Okay, have an amazing day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical, crazy realm, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.